You know what's funny? You do that, you go up behind someone with the squirt bottle, go, and then spray their neck real quick, they'll get pissed.
I used to do that. I used to do it at work. One of the jobs I had a bottle of Windex on. And I'd walk up. I'd sneeze a couple times so they could hear it coming. I walk right by them, and they're totally. I'm like, oh God, I'm so sorry. I couldn't control it.
Make sure it's glistening off your arm.
Yeah.
You spit on your arm. You spit on your arm, and then they like, oh, mother.
She's seriously a girl.
Oh.
We had to kill a snake last week down at the job site.
Really?
Big old copperhead.
Ooh. Oh, I would have got him out for you.
About that big around.
Oh, that's a big copperhead. That's an
like
adult. That's totally an adult copperhead.
And he would not leave. Did everything I could with a stick to get him moving on. And
he kept going.
Right back in the hole where the guys were working.
Why didn't you just use a shovel? Stick.
I was trying to be nice with him in general and try to get him to go away. I don't want to destroy the animal.
Copperhead.
You don't want to destroy him.
Copperhead, sure.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Copperheads suck. That's why we have an abundance of black snakes on the property.
Yeah.
They eat the copperheads. We don't have. I haven't seen a copperhead in forever.
Those guys, when they saw it,
you're right.
You know how fast they got out of the hole.
Oh, I'm sure.
No shit.
I'm supposed to tell you something too. I don't remember what it was.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, he backed into your car one.
I wasn't here yesterday. My girlfriend cooked me dinner. I'm sorry. One of my girlfriends cooked me dinner.
I only know which one it wasn't. She's still with that guy out west somewhere.
Which one? Oh, that.
Angela. I don't remember the guy. It's some guy that she's been with him since. So.
Really? I'm gonna be damned. Go for it. Oh, sweet. I love dogs.
That's my little girl.
Damn. You send her to grade school like that?
She's pulling your wife all over the place.
Yeah. How big is she? She's full girl.
Have you seen his wife?
Yeah, on Facebook.
Same size.
Oh, Sean.
No, it's a big dog. And his wife is small.
I saw you guys on Facebook the other day. I guess you guys went somewhere?
Well, we went downtown as my son and his girlfriend. My son just became an officer in the Navy. And he did a re-enlistment downtown at Baltimore Village.
Okay, cool. All right.
So we went down there.
You know, I just became an officer in Ditmer. I'm actually on the U.S. Ditmer Olympic hockey team. But of course, there's 3 goats and a cow on there too. So
hey, I shouldn't laugh. I'm coaching it.
Kyle, come on, add something to that.
I'm
There's your star player right there.
And the guest DM tonight,
Slappy
Skeet Funkle. Skeet Funkle.
With the loose bow.
that was said like it was like, all right, and we're just waiting on.
Was that okay? Does everybody want Sean? Hey, I want to get a general vote. General vote. Even the guy on the screen. Does everybody want Sean here tonight?
All righty.
Sean's our best friend. No. That's actually.
Okay, this is episode 32.
I think it's funny.
I know he does, because that's Kyle.
World of Skell-Ghosts. That's our name of our story. And the group has proceeded to get involved in the supply of cheap labor via capture and sale of human capital, or whatever other humanoids happen to be unfortunate enough to be captured and taken from their native lands. And the native lands that they are in now are not, the problem of slavery hasn't, the problem isn't so much here in this territory. Slaves aren't a thing, unless you count indentured servitude or what have you. But apparently sentient beings from this land are being taken somewhere else. And it has been confirmed by a couple different sources that the slavers that are taking them or are buying the slaves being provided to them are actually the people from where COVID is from, a faraway land called Akarima. And COVID's backstory gives information about how he ended up here, and he didn't really know why, but it was revealed that even though COVID doesn't remember this, either one of the gods or the only god that he pays any homage to, Nemesis, seeks revenge for the people who have decided to make slavery a viable option in his lands. They need to have revenge wrought upon them. So, one of COVID's former friends, apparently, it was spoken that he was not in his place where he was trying to make himself better after a bad situation. And there were large footprints in the area. And there are rumors of giants being slaveholders in the islands to the south of the Republic of Saskatchewan. So, the group recently traveled north after getting their supplies and what they think they might need, and bought horses for the journey. And they are now overlooking a wooden fort from around probably 300 feet away. They're on a cliff, a forested land that ends in a sharp cliff. Some leads 200 feet down to more forest, but then at the edge of the ocean, tucked into the forest, is this fort. And just as they moved around to get a better look at the fort, they saw that there were slaves in cages, or they think they're slaves, in cages, people in cages, humanoids in cages. They saw that there was a large Akariman ship, a three-masted ship, loading what appear to be captured individuals, probably slaves, onto the ship, and then the flag of Akarima raised in the tower of the fort. And in the forest down around the fort, there were glimpses of some humanoid large creature with antlers prowling or just making its way through the forest stealthily. And the druid Shadrach had had a conversation with a crow, and whether that information was worth anything or not is up to how the players use it. And they had left their horses a while back and had communicated with these horses that they would stay and protect, form up their own little horse circle in case they were attacked, and they didn't want to be tied up so they wouldn't be able to defend themselves. And there was still somebody's horse was still tied up, but I don't remember whose. But Kettle Tom's horse was untied, and Shadrach. And your horse is the one that was left tied?
No, mine's still tied.
Yours is still tied.
Untied.
Yours is untied? Okay.
So, must be Randy.
Reginald left his tied up.
Okay. All right. So, the time of the day, it's you know, you left early in the morning and you started walking, and so it's not quite dinner time yet. The sun isn't perfectly overhead, and so the weather is mostly agreeable, and you have the opportunity to do whatever it is you'd like to do after having seen the flag raised of the Acarimans over the fort. So, unless someone has any edits, additions, or clarifications, or any pre-game questions about rules or things, we will begin. So, hearing nothing, what would you all like to do? I know Shadrach was wanting to get a head start on conversing with his companions up on this cliff. So if there's something that you wanted to ask or make plans, go right ahead, Shadrach. Can't hear you.
Oh, there you go. I always turn my thing off as you tell me to. As I said, I have the ability to scout out the fort as looking through the eyes of one of the birds or crows. It won't expose us to any. It won't give us away, and I can even make it harder for us to be seen right now. If we want to scout out the fort, my concern is how many slavers are there? Also, I'd like that boat to get out of here before we do anything, because if we jump the gun, that boat could turn around and come back. And I don't want them to be able to signal that boat, because that's the last thing we need is a boatload of Acaramians running all over it. That's the last thing we need.
That boat leaves, it's going to have a boatload of prisoners on board. You know, we're just going to let them go? Become
what
slaves?
Are we going to do about it? Okay,
I thought we were here to do something about it. I'm just saying, you know, we going to pick and choose who we save then?
Yes, we do.
Well, I'm only saving fat chests and white women.
There's 6 of them. What are we going to do? We don't have any way to support all these people.
Yeah, I know
Not
that.
for any length of time, unless we take over the fort and let them live there. I don't think they want to live here. They're all going to want to scatter and go to wherever they're going. That's going to be the problem. Taking care of these people once we set them free.
Well,
I don't think going in there and exterminating these slavers is going to be that difficult of a thing. Taking care of these people, that's going to be the hard thing.
I don't think that's the part we discussed on what we do once we free them. I think we just assumed that we let them go their way. Maybe give them directions to get back to where we came from.
I mean,
if we kill the slavers,
I could probably feed them for 1 day. That's about it. The people on the boat, I don't know the boat's already leaving. What are we going to do? Just go down and just run it? What's your suggestion? We go running in there now?
No, that's usually your suggestion. I'm just making a point that
I'm asking.
You want to definitely wait until the boat leaves, and I'm just telling you there's definitely slaves on the boat. That's all I'm saying.
We can only do so much.
I know, you're just so quick to point out to forget about them. I'm just trying to make you remember.
Kettle Tom says, what would you like to do, COVID?
I don't know. I think this is way too far. It's too big a task for us few people. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to do here. I can tell you what to do if we had 1,000 men. I don't have 1,000 men. I don't.
Well, if your honest feeling is we don't have enough people, then we should just leave.
I hate to do that too. That's why I said I don't know.
How far away from the ship?
Like...
We have trouble seeing detail. We're far enough away. That's the way you described before.
400 or 500 feet.
Okay, so not that bad. You can definitely see people on the deck of the ship.
And we can see people in
you
cages.
can see people.
You can see cages, and the cages got people.
Yeah, obviously you couldn't make out a lot of detail.
Yeah.
Unless you happen to get a super perception check roll. Depends on what you're trying to find.
I'm just trying to tell if we can tell the difference between armed people on the ship and
Yeah, because the people that are being walked onto the ship, they've all got chains on their feet. Yeah.
Chain gangs.
So we definitely, does it look like the ship is got heavily armed?
Make a perception check, please.
Intelligence and level?
Intelligence plus your D30.
Oh, not even close.
For a total of something.
25.
Okay. Hard to tell. From this distance, you can tell that there are people that are starting to go up the gangplank there, or off the dock onto the ship. And they're definitely being escorted and watched, but as far as the total amount of armed individuals on the ship, the crew, there's probably no way of knowing. Unless you were familiar with how many it would take to run a ship. That would be being proficient in sailing or something like that.
We do have someone here that is proficient with that. It might be able to tell us how many men. Hey, Reginald, how many people do you think would be needed to crew that ship down there?
Well, that's a full-size sailing ship. It's definitely seaworthy. Ka, do I have an idea?
You can make a non-proficient check if you'd like. Roll a d20.
I did work on a sailing ship, and I can compare the size with that one. Goddamn.
Nice, first roll.
I rolled a 19.
19, huh? Okay. So, with the tiny little bonus that you got from having that in your backstory, you actually are successful, believe it or not. You had to roll super high and you did it. So, you would say that to successfully crew a ship of this size, it could be done with 10, but that's like the minimum, and then the maximum or a good amount would be 20 to 25.
Yeah, I would take at least, I would say a good crew would be 25 guys. Let me run this idea past you. I think we should wait until nightfall, and then I can swim out to the ship, climb up, and set it on fire to create a diversion while you guys at the shoreline or in the wood line prepare to rush the wall, and Shadrach can use his magic to open a hole in the wall and then slip in and begin unlocking cages and freeing people and getting them out of the hole, letting them head toward the woods. That's an idea, but I would like to get a little closer and find out if this giant creature is a guardian of the fort or a guardian of the forest. I think my gut tells me that he, like Montooth, might be trying to get rid of those guys, and that's why they've got the fort so well buttressed against the creature.
Not knowing much about ships.
Hold on, Shadrach. Go ahead.
Not knowing much about ships.
Player number 2.
Flippy.
Would they be loading the stock prisoners a day or two before they sail? Or are they loading those things up the day they sail?
Yeah, that I don't know. But I do know that they would load them into the hole down below, and the captain's quarters are usually on the rear deck with some sort of portals or windows to let fresh air in. And my approach would be to climb the back of the boat and slip into the captain's chambers or whoever the commander might be. And then I have a few vials of oil. I can pour them around the room and dump over a lantern and then dive back into the water. And hopefully that would create an emergency situation, and a lot of the crew and maybe some of the people in the fort would be doing a bucket line. You know, yeah, there's water everywhere, so they can put it out. but it might give us the time we need to get through the wall. I don't know, guys.
If they can't put it out, then we got how many prisoners on board that burned to death?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be too concerned about the prisoners before themselves.
I think they would. I think they would. That's a lot of money in the hold that they're getting ready to ship out of here.
That's true, too.
Shadrach, did you want to jump in there?
Like I said, we need to know how many people we're dealing with. I mean, we don't. I mean,
well, we can see a lot of slaves.
Now thinking about it, setting the boat on fire is probably going to kill some slaves.
I like Shadrach's idea about being able to take over a bird or whatever and go look wherever he wants. I think that's our best option. Let's spend another day doing some surveillance in this place. Let's see, get a better idea how the flow of things here work. Maybe we'll get to see that monster in the woods, and maybe there'll be some interaction between him and them, or whether it be good or bad. Let's see more of what's going on, because I don't see us doing anything, and we're not enough to have a decent plan. Yeah, getting in there and fucking some shit up, and running around, setting shit on fire. Sure, I mean that has the potential to cause a lot of issues with them, but I don't think in the long run it necessarily saves slaves. And I think they'll try to capture those slaves, or they'll cut them down before they let them get away. You know, I'm just saying. I don't know.
Right. I see your point, but I don't think that they would just kill the slave, because that's their income. That's why they're here, to gather these slaves.
True.
But I do agree that we should get more information, because I say go in under the cover of night. That doesn't have to be tonight. I think we should get back to the horses, move down a little closer in the wood line, closer, and see who comes and goes. And like you said, maybe that giant will have interactions, or perhaps through Shadrach's magical, mystical ways, he can strike up a conversation with the beast and find out if it's here to kill us, or everybody around the fort, or if it's trying to get in.
Well, how close do you want to get? Because we're only 500 feet away now.
Pause. I would like all of you to make perception checks, not observation if you have it, but perception. And I need numbers. So we'll start with Shadrach.
If the D30?
Plus your intelligence.
25.
Reginald.
19.
Oh, damn. COVID.
1.
Natural 1? Okay, well, your eyes don't fall out, so no reason to implode.
Glad my eyes don't fall out.
Go ahead and implode anyway.
I don't want to implode. 5. It's also
plus intelligence.
Yeah, it's also 4. It'd be, actually it's a 21.
Okay, so you need a 31.
Yeah, oh, right.
Alright, so nothing, just a regular failure. And?
35.
Okay, 35, okay. I was looking for 41, so, okay. So, I interrupted you.
Oh, how close did you want to get? We're only 500 feet away now, and I think we can view quite a bit while the bird thing he does. He can go wherever and view and report back to us, but we need to be safe.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to get down on ground level sooner or later, but from here, definitely get you a bird to fly over there and see what you can see.
Like I said, it won't take me long, and it's no danger of exposing ourselves. All they're going to see is a bird.
Do it.
Unless they have magic.
Do it.
The only thing is, okay, I'll do it.
The crow told you that that Colan was the forest protector. So I'm thinking, and my gut tells me that it's a friendly, good creature that's trying to get rid of these guys. But
the description matches what I would describe as a sylvan creature. So I agree. It doesn't seem like a monstrous giant with a club that eats children. I think it's something else, like you said, Forest Guardian.
Cop, did you say it was humanoid?
I don't remember anyone getting the super description other than, I guess, from what Pick saw, it it appeared to be very large humanoid with some type of horn or antlers coming off its head.
Okay, I was under the impression it was a large elk, and then in the recap I thought you said humanoid. I was just wanting to clarify.
Well,
Oh, a combo of both. Maybe.
It's like you think I said maybe it could be a large elk or something like. Yeah, that's Daryl. You're right.
Okay. But go ahead, Shadrach. We'll protect you. You'll have to be in a trance or something, won't you, to see through his eyes?
I'll have to concentrate. But other than that, and you can shake me out of it. I can end it. It's not, like I said, this is a very low danger level as far as what we're doing. So first of all, I'm going to cast a spell called Beckon.
Any chance we can stare at you instead of your beard?
He's saying your camera is just showing the bottom half of your face.
But
really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking at myself here.
It's seldom on all of you, so it's always part of you's cut off.
Is that better? Is that worse?
It's about the same, other than further away.
Exactly.
That's the only options you get, A and B.
Well, why don't you?
I don't know what to do here.
Come up with C.
I guess.
Get the fuck out.
I guess you would need to create a little back thing that would hold your device. At a different angle. That's all.
Yeah, what Jim Jab said.
Yeah, well,
put a book under the edge of it or something.
But okay.
Hang on, I can probably do that. I got books all over the place here.
Daryl, that looks like a plate holder.
Yeah.
I just bent a little hanger, and then my phone sits in it like that.
I bought one. That's pretty cool though. Make one out of the hanger.
Daryl, you're a
I
genius.
made one for my tablet.
Okay, I could get one. You're right, because I do this. I sit around like this with my phone like this all the time. I'm casting Beckon. It's a first level spell. The range is 1 mile. It takes casting time 4. The components are a piece of food for an animal, and this I'm going to summon another crow, maybe the same one, with a piece of goodberry. And that's the first spell that I cast. So a crow within a mile, I'm summoning.
Okay.
And human.
What's your verbal component?
The verbal component would be for me to call out in crow, I would imagine. Come to me. I need your service. Oh, black-winged one with eyes that can see far.
All right. Make me a charisma check with advantage.
Oh! Ooh. 29.
All right. So, I would now like you to roll me a d20.
A 2.
Okay. A crow flies quickly in and lands at your feet and looks up at you and cocks its head sideways. It does not appear to be the same crow.
Okay. Speaking in crow, I will say thank you for answering my summons. I need your help, and I will reward you.
With what? An arrow?
No. Oh, dang. Fuck, I'm dead. We have come here to get rid of the bad humans and free the good humans. And this area will be returned to you, and the bad humans will be gone.
I don't know what good or bad means. All I know is we have lots of dead people to eat.
You'll have more if you help me.
Make a charisma check.
More than you can.
Make a charisma check, please.
That is a 30.
The crow says, I believe you. You better not be lying.
I'm not lying.
What is it?
Come. Get on my shoulder. I need to borrow your eyes. I need to see as you see. It won't hurt you.
He's like, first something that would get me to do what you want. I'm not your slave.
No. I ask you to willingly let me see through your eyes. Will you do this?
Give me something first.
What would you like? In fact, I will bring out a shiny coin. Would you like this?
I don't know. Let's see. I hate that. And the fact that you have coin means I hate you. Pick something else.
I'll pull out a goodberry. Would you like this?
It flies up and picks it out of your hand and then lands and starts to eat it and says, yes, okay. Now
I start to cast my next spell.
Now I will let you use me for whatever terrible thing that you humans do. And what are you casting?
All right, I'm casting Druid Sight. It takes 3 rounds, so I guess it takes basically, what, 12 seconds to cast it?
3 minutes.
But, yeah. So we're not in the middle of a battle. I'm not worried about it. Druid Sight,
I got it.
And I already just gave it some food. That's the material component for the spell is the food. Verbal and Somatic, I would now, as I'm invoking the power, Mother Skell, give me the power to see through the eyes of this humble creature, that I may know where my enemies lie. Now this will last for 2 hours plus 6 rounds, or 6 turns. The subject animal can be commanded telepathically to scout, spy, or stand guard at distances up to 100 yards plus 10 yards per level of the caster. So I can have this thing fly around up to 160 yards away from me and take a good look around, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to be like, I'm going to act like a crow, basically. I'm sure crows buzz the port. I'm pretty sure there's garbage, like he says, dead people to eat. So crows are probably a common sight. If I expect to get shot at by an arrow. It might happen. I don't know. I'm going to take that chance. So.
All right. So, you cast the spell. You feel the magic flow through you and to this poor little crow that seems to really kind of want to like you, but on the other hand, seems to really hate you for some reason for pulling out that coin, and you're not sure why.
The human thing, I get it. It's civilization.
It flies off.
I understand.
And you are able to see through its eyes.
Shad covers his face for a moment and kind of twitches his head, and when he pulls his hands away, he has crow's eyes. Just the black crow's eyes blinking. And so I'm going to fly within that 160-yard area. I'm pretty sure I can cover the area of the fort. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. I'm looking specifically for armed people and see if I can count how many armed people I see. And that's my primary thing. My secondary thing will be to look for any large antlered creatures in the forest area around the fort.
Okay. So the crow flies and heads towards the fort, and as it flies over the fort, it gets just to the front edge when you start to feel the strength of your connection begin to wane, and you realize that that is the extent, the 480 feet. It takes you just to that front edge, right about to where the ocean is. And you can see probably about 10 or 12 guys that are wearing regular clothes, but they're armed with dagger and short sword. They have hats on and shirts, and they look like regular people, except for they're armed. You see about 20 people that are currently being loaded onto the ship, and then you see 10 uniformed Acaraymans on the ship, not wearing the same kind of armor that COVID has, but they all have like loose-fitting white shirts and pants, linen pants, and they appear to have dark skin, darker even than COVID's, probably from being out in sea. You can see that there is a hole or a hatch in the top of the three-masted ship that leads down into the hold, and that the people are being escorted down into that. Along the front of the fort, you can see another 10 armed Acaraymans, with 2 that appear to be wearing clothes befitting the station of command, not seeming as if they are concerned with the movement or the slaves. They're more talking to like a larger, abnormally large man. This guy is probably somewhere between 7 and 8 foot tall, kind of reminiscent of the height of the sister that you all met when you were back at the monastery, but not showing any racial traits that would make you think this is anything other than a very large human. Got like close shorn hair, sort of like a weird sort of tan that you notice that as he like puts his hat back on, it kind of explains why that parts of him are very dark and other parts are in the face that aren't baked by the sun and the sunlight bouncing off the water all day. And he's dressed, he seems to have a little bit more like jewelry, so he is displaying his station probably by the amount of valuable items on his person, something that you know would show someone's station in a place that isn't of other ways of having power over your surroundings. And he seems to have 2 shorter people with him who appear to be normal-sized humans, and they seem to be like following him around, maybe like they're like you see one of them hand him something and another one take something that's handed to him, and they always remain one step back from this large individual. And then as the crow sort of flies up and lands on a tree just outside the wall, it looks in and it sees the wooden wall and the pipes that extend out from beyond that, and how there's earth that's built up behind the wall, giving it extra holding and stability. And there's a front door that is on this square tower that's about maybe 40 or 50 by 50 square. Pretty decent size for something out here. Though you may not be familiar with what's inside of it. It's certainly bigger than any tree, or like there's not a set of rocks or boulders along the ocean. You notice that the docks are fairly well maintained, even though this is the only ship that's there. And you can see that inside the walls also there are smaller huts, or almost what we would call shed-like things now, which you can see that there's people that seem to be living in there, probably other denizens of the fort, ladies and even some children there. So you kind of gather that somebody lives here and there's a community here, and unfortunately it's engaging in some pretty reprehensible behavior according to your moral code. And you also, as your bird flies around, you notice that there's a kind of a large pool of water where you see people going and getting fresh water, and the water seems to come down from the side of the hill and must run through the forest and end up in the pool. And there's animals that come here to drink, as well as the people come here to get fresh water. You don't notice any wells or anything. And then you also notice that on the opposite side where your bird is now, where if you were looking at the fort from the front, on the left there appears to be crops being grown and some other weird fruit trees that you're not necessarily familiar with. You know that it's fruit and it's edible, but it's not something that was at the monastery. It's different colors and shapes. And there appears to be, for lack of a better term, you know, either a village or whatever. This is its own little ecosystem here. So, and I think that's about all the information. As far as members of people that aren't Akarimans that have weapons, you probably have counted 7 or 8 from the front, and then as your bird kind of picks up and swipes around the left of the fort and goes around the back, you can see another 6 or 7 that are casually either hanging out, or they're supposed to be on guard duty but they're playing cards or whatever. You know, all of the cages seem like they're in good working order. You don't notice any faults in they're all basically wooden with leather straps that lash, and then there's also typical wooden nails that are used to pound in to keep everything together. And you can also see in the back left, if you were looking straight at the fort, there appears to be a mound that they're putting water on, and they're like mixing this white material with this mound of other things. There's a couple guys that there's weapons on the ground, as if they have taken off their weapons to do this manual labor, and they're doing something with this pile of either dung or dirt or a mixture of that or ash or what have you. And there is a little bit of smoke coming from the tower, as if there was a cooking thing in there, which seems kind of unusual for a wooden fort. They don't do a lot of fire around the wood, but Perhaps there's a stone fireplace in there that they do cooking on, who knows. And then at the top of the fort, as I drew, there's like a 10 or 20 foot tall section of the fort that's like 40 by 40. And then there's round turrets there where there's at each one of those are those guys with the crossbows and the bow and arrows. And then the middle square tower also goes up an additional 20 feet, and it has windows that are currently open. And theoretically, if you wanted the bird to go look in those windows, you could. That's totally up to you. But from where the bird is now, all it sees is like shadows in the inside of the building, as if there's no lamp lighting up, so you don't know what's in there. But you can assume that would be whoever is running the place. They tend to live in the topmost thing. So that is the information, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to rip the crow's life or anything, but I want to just make a few things here. So basically what I've seen is about, okay, you said there was 10 Achaemenids on the boat and they had 20 slaves loaded on the boat. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, how many slaves are in the fort still?
Oh, okay. Okay, so there's no need to roll this. When your bird was flying around and was able to get to the edge of the water, I need you to roll me a perception check, please.
$27.
All right. You notice that also on the deck of the ship, there's the sails are down, and there's people, other Achaemenids who are not armed, that are working on the ship, either cleaning or repairing things or doing maritime activities. Okay, so go ahead.
Okay, now slaves inside the fort. Is there any inside in the cages?
Yeah, but there's a lot less now. That it looks like there's maybe 5.
That's it? Okay.
And they, you can see one of them is pretty much like fallen over, and the guards are opening the cage, and they appear to be getting ready to do something with the body or corpse, depending on if it's alive or dead.
Okay. So, basically there's roughly 40 guys here, roughly. I'm not counting non-combatants. But I'm going to just say that there's probably about 40 guys here, maybe more. The things that you were describing to me, as far as I can tell from the spell, I could easily have stood there and described all those things. You know, I don't have to, I could just say, I see this, and I would have done that. I would have said, everybody around me can hear what I see. So, that's my assessment. There's about 40 to 50 guys down there, and some leadership.
It looked like the boat is the target if they've got all the slaves on there already.
There's there's at least 10 combatants on the boat, but all the slaves are on the boat. I think the slaves that were left behind were the ones that were too weak or worthless to take with them. So, by that notion, if we attack the boat, all those people inside the fort are going to have to come outside that gate to get to us. So that's going to isolate them for at least a little while. I can also potentially warp that gate so that it's hard to get open. But as far as warping the wood, I can only do a very little bit. I can't do a huge amount of wood with it.
I bet you could do enough to sink that ship.
I could probably do enough to bend one of the boards under the water line. Yeah, I could do that.
If we can get on that ship, I think that's the way to free the most slaves.
I agree, and I think now, having seen that, I think that will isolate that our enemy is divided and isolated. And if we jump that boat, we might just as easily take off on that boat and take the slaves with us and free them that way.
Hey,
go ahead, Dick.
During your observation, because we've run into before the slavers, how many spellcasters were there?
I didn't really get the impression there were any spellcasters there, but they could be in the big structure with the windows. I saw a gentleman, as I may have described, an extra large human that had lots of. He showed wealth, if anything.
Do you think he's a giant?
He was about as big as the large woman from the monastery.
Oh.
I look back over at the fort off the cliff. I probably can't make him out.
From where you guys are right now, I mean, you can kind of see the boat because of that part that juts out there, but you can't quite see around the corner of the fort. So,
Okay, Tom.
he may be lying or he might be telling the truth. Oh.
I believe him.
Since I get this spell for like almost 3 hours, I'm gonna let the crow just kind of keep being a crow, and if we stay here until nightfall, I'll be able to keep looking through its eyes and quite casually see what's going on, and if I feel that the crow is in danger, I will get him out of there and then end the spell.
All right.
But like, if you want me to keep observing this place for the next 2 hours, we can get down all the details we need.
I think we need to figure out how we're going to get on the ship because we got to go through the fort to get there. The people going to the water.
The forest runs up to the edge of the water.
Through somewhere.
We can go up to the edge. We can go to the forest up to the edge of the water. I thought.
Well, what if they start shooting those ballista at us? I'm thinking we're going to have to be.
I'm going to steer us up to the last minute. Let me just say that. I can surround us with an obscuring mist until we're right up on top of them. And then I mean, if it's dark, they're not going to be able to see us very good in the first place.
Right.
What's the distance? Okay, Cobb, I'm going to fly with the bird. And I'm going to try to calculate the distance from the forest edge to the ocean and the dock.
Well, the forest pretty much goes right up to a 5 or 10 foot beach area. This is all, and the fort wall itself stops at the edge of the beach as well. So there's the dock that comes from the water and comes up on land. It pretty much goes right up to the front gate of the fort.
Well, like you said, if you want to go to the fort, that's one way, or we have to swim, but I can't swim.
Okay, we can get around it then, it looks like.
Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, but there are other smaller gates in the outer wall that I put on the map. I don't know if that's something...
I agree. I don't think getting into the fort is a problem. I think getting to the boat is going to be the problem.
There's a gate on the back left wall that goes to the pool, and then there's a gate at the front of the left, or the, as you're looking at the fort from the front, the left wall that just opens up out into wherever. There's like a lot of, you can tell it kind of, there's been a lot of traffic there, and then the forest, so whether a trail goes into the forest or up the beach, could be both. And then there's one on the left, or on the right as you're looking at the fort, that goes out into the forest and the beach from there as well. There is no back gate on the back wall that you guys would see from the back of the fort.
Yeah, but there must be a way in off the dock, I would guess.
No, yeah, from the front, yes, there's a large gate there that opens up out onto the dock that extends out into the water.
If we keep to the left, we're going to have to swim. If we keep to the right, then we might be able to get around the fort by way of the pool. But if we go to the left, we're going to have to go to the forest right up to the water line and then get in the water. That's the only way, because otherwise we're going to have to be right at the edge of the fort.
I think that's the best way. Stay in the woods best we can, get right up there, and I think time may be of the essence, because they might be setting sail before dark. We probably need to get our butts down there and try to get, we're just going to have to rush in. There's only 10 men on the ship.
I can't swim, Reginald.
Go ahead, COVID.
But the dock goes to the ground, to the earth, the Skell.
Go ahead.
What about, since he's got some time left, can he have the bird go out and see if he can see this giant thing in the woods?
I can do that.
I mean, we really need to know if it's friend or foe, because if it's foe, we gotta go through it. Perhaps. And I'd like to know about it and not ignore that.
Good doing it.
I will now, upon that request, which is a good one, withdraw the crow from the fort area back to flying right about treetop level, looking down specifically to see if anything large is moving in the forest.
Okay, so the forest here is dense, which means there's a canopy. So the bird will have to disappear from view. It doesn't have to. As you have it fly around for a while, you notice that occasionally you'll get a glimpse of the floor of the ground, and it looks like ground that you would find in a dense forest. It's not a lot grows there that needs light, because it's all these trees are competing for the light, so they grow up and have these broad leaves and what have you.
So I don't see like the treetops shaking where something's walking around or anything?
No, I mean, you see occasionally things move and you look and it's just another bird or a tree rat or a snake or all kinds of things. A hornet's nest, all kinds of things. Little burrowing creatures like woodchucks and Sumatran rats, all kinds of stuff.
I will summon the bird back. How much time do I have to still use the spell?
You got an hour.
All right, I'll call the bird back to me and speak to it in Crow. I mean, this thing is not hypnotized, but it will do my will. But I mean, it's not like a zombie or anything like that. Yeah. I'll ask it. Have you seen Kolam, the guardian of the forest, before?
Oh, many times.
Do you know where he lived?
Yes.
Could you show me and let me see through your eyes?
I can, but I don't think I want to. He doesn't want anyone around the mouth of his cave.
Can you show me where the cave is? Just show me where it is.
If you were to walk off the cliff right now, you would land at the mouth of his cave.
Oh, shit.
I free you from your bond. Thank you for your service. I offer him another good berry.
I'm full, and flies away.
Well, there's your answer, folks.
We couldn't hear the bird, right?
Well, you just kind of heard the bird going, ah!
Yeah.
And you heard him doing the same thing.
The cave is right below us.
The cave? What cave?
Where Kolam lives, the guardian of the forest.
He's right below us?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
We should maybe go around that area. Or do you wish to approach and parlay with him?
We still need to figure out if he's on our side or not. I mean,
the crows seem to feel that Kolam was let's just say, something that was a friendly creature.
Well, then you need to go talk to it and find out. Shake it down for us, and then
if not, we'll come deal with it. All these weird languages, I can try to talk to it, but I'm not going down there by myself.
Is it technically a creature?
No.
Is it technically a creature?
Go ahead, Reginald.
I wouldn't ask you to go by yourself, for sure. We should perhaps approach it and ask its permission to move forward and do what we want to do.
Or if anything, enlist its help.
Kettle Tom says there are many tales of creatures who, upon sacrifice, causes them to have a better opinion of those that trespass in its lands.
Upon sacrifice, I don't understand what you mean.
Like offering it something of worth.
Yes, I understand. Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
We have some coin. I don't know what else it may find value. I think coin will do.
Things like Kolam, that they want blood usually, or something like that.
Gentlemen, should we proceed back to our horses and get to lower ground, get off this cliff and head down?
I say that we remember where we're going to go. Mark this spot so that we remember.
Kettle Tom says, if the crow said that the cave is right below us and we're pretty much just to the right of the fort, I think we can find that. I know I can. But then again, if the forest is as dense as they say, I guess I couldn't. It would take somebody else that could tell how far we walked. I guess I shouldn't have said that. Maybe it's more difficult than I thought. I retract my statement.
Only our other friend, the ranger, was with us.
I can move to these woods without any hindrance, but I know that you all can't. So,
but finding our way, a trail, a path. Perhaps let's get going.
So Kettle
as long as we can find a way down there. How far down is the cliff, and how far down? All right, let's go. I'm
back toward the horses.
All right.
That's fine. So we can do that. Also,
you have a map. You can mark these places on your map.
The map that I have is not this detailed. It just shows the northern coast and things like that.
That's because you haven't put the places on it yet, man.
This is we need a very small map to remember where this little spot. Okay, I'll mark where the slaver spot is. We can do that, but that's the scale of the map I have.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so you guys turn around and start heading back. Kettle Tom will lead the way, although you guys feel pretty confident that you could make it back to the horses. And I would like Reginald to roll a D12. Come on!
Here we go.
12!
All right. So after about an hour, you make it back to the horses. And apparently nothing's happened because they're not in the exact same places you left them, except for Reginald's horse, but they are like within 20 feet. And as you guys come back, they start to move over towards you like any animal who gets fed sometimes thinks that it's going to be.
I pull an apple out and give mine an apple. Good boy.
I give mine a good berry.
Yep, I will pat my horse and just reassure it. See? We came back.
That worked out pretty well. Sorry, Smoke, buddy. I untie him and let him graze a little further. Give him a pat on the head.
I don't remember. Shadrach told us. The good berries don't do anything for
one thing we don't know is Kolam's habits. Is he nocturnal? Does he walk around at daytime? We didn't see much evidence of him walking around while we were there.
No.
We saw the last time we saw him was at night, wasn't it?
If you talk to a creature when you get closer to the cave entrance, I'm sure it could give you a lot of insight if it's near the entrance where this thing lives. It can tell you the schedule of this creature.
It told me it was not a wise thing to hang around the...
No, I said if you talk to a new creature when we get closer to the entrance, it can tell you all kinds of stuff probably.
Find a chipmunk or a squirrel?
Anything that runs around in
I can talk to squirrels. I speak squirrel.
Can you speak giant elf beast?
I can try to make myself understood. That's about it. Maybe not at all.
Sign language and music.
Linguistics is not my strong point.
You can't like speak languages. You can't speak languages with like other races or anything like that. Do you have a spell that allows you to understand like my native language?
I might be able to touch the creature's mind, but I'm not sure how much preparation that will take. It's not something I'm used to doing.
Do you have a spell that will allow you to understand my native language?
No.
Okay.
I cannot cast comprehend language. I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure I can.
Okay.
Let's see.
You guys doing anything for the foreseeable future while you're here? Go ahead, Reginald.
Tom, I was wondering if you could tell me more about your line, you know, your tradition, your sect. I don't really see you. You said you're a healer. I mean, you're not really a priest. We don't have to do it in game time, but I'm going to spend a little time with Kettle Tom because he said that his religion is based on the Kyrin and what they did, so I'd just like to spend some time with him and get to know more about that.
Okay. Anybody else doing anything I need to be aware of at this time, other than, I guess, relaxing against a tree?
Apparently.
Nothing?
I'm ready for action, fellas, whatever we need to do.
Yeah, we should get going.
Okay, so you want to, what do you, go ahead, somebody tell me what you're doing.
Let's be moving. We can head down in elevation to try to get closer toward the fort and toward the mouth of the cave.
You want me to lead?
Yeah, man.
Alright, walking my horse, not riding it. I lead.
Okay. Is everybody doing what COVID's doing? You're walking your horse on the trail down?
Yes.
I'll ride on the trail, but when it gets dense, when it gets thick, I'll...
Okay. So, you begin to head somewhat westerly, still heading mostly north, until you can see through some of the trees and hear what could only be the sound of waves coming up on shore. And as you continue to walk that way, you can see the ocean and the small thin beach that apparently lines the waters of the ocean. So you have the option of walking along the beach, you can stay in the forest, and you can also see that as you continue to move, the forest gets more dense, but you can see before you're pretty much the sky is obscured, that the cliff is off to your right, and you could stick to where you think the separation is between the rising elevation and the same elevation of the ocean. You'll have to tell me at which type of route you'd like to take. There appears to be almost a natural trail that leads to the northeast that would probably take you along the cliff and the rising elevation. And there appears to, of course, be a natural way to walk along the beach if you wanted to take that to the fort. Through the forest, there's, I guess, multiple ways to go because the forest's floor is just covered with dying vegetation and trees that have fallen over and sometimes there's other like vines and things or whatever you would find in a dense forest. And so you can tell me, I guess, if you're leading, which way do you want to go?
Not on the beach. In the
I
forest.
say we stick close to the cliff.
Yeah, if we can stay close to the...
You can go wherever you want to go.
We can stay close to the cliff wall.
Okay.
But we're going in lower. We're going down in elevation.
Well, you're not really going down. You're staying about the same as the hill starts to go up beside you on the right.
Heading to the northeast.
The white and brown rock that begins to jut up from the floor of the forest starts to rise quickly on your right. And some of you may feel like you're kind of being put into a condensed travel situation because you really can't go to your right unless you want to climb this rock face, which might not be that difficult because there's lots of things that have already grown there and it's not a perfectly smooth thing. The rock appears to be the kind of rock that has a lot of like natural holes in it, like as if it's pitted or something has been, when it was made, it had air in it, for instance. And as you walk along, you see a lot of birds flying out of their nests that they make on the rocky areas of the wall. And on your left, there's lots of trees, but the trees that they don't tend to grow as close to the side of the cliff, either because that's not a good place to be because it doesn't get as much sun or the whatever reason. Maybe there's something that walks these cliff sides that keeps the trees from growing there. Who knows? But as you continue...
Well,
I know COVID's going first, so who would like to go second?
Me.
I'll bring up the rear.
So unless Reggie wants to go third, Kettle Tom will.
I'll go behind Tom.
Okay. COVID has his hand up.
Scopitation.
Roll.
I'm still mounted.
26.
Okay. You don't get the feeling you're being watched.
Awesome.
Not yet.
Yeah.
I would like, now you've been traveling about half an hour. Pick, roll me a d12.
7.
All right. And as you continue to travel, there's snakes that slither along the trail in front of you, and you see a weird fight between two rats that's just happening randomly on your left. And there's a bird up in the tree, and it's got a very colorful set of wings, and it looks down, and as you approach, it sort of flies off. And then you hear a sound coming from in front of you, a loud roar. And the horses...
There's a bear.
Does anyone, if the horses seem to not appreciate that, and they seem like they're scared and not wanting to go forward. So
I'm casting a spell.
I will dismount.
And what spell are you casting, Shadrach?
Calm animals.
Gee, that seems pretty self-explanatory.
We get to it here.
Calm.
Hey.
Okay.
Column animals. They're all got weird legs that look like them.
Roll 2d4.
Alright. There's 3 and 5 total.
So 5 plus 6 is 11. And with that, you...
Let's see here.
The spell, you reach out, hey, I got it. You reach out and you, it says verbal and somatic. What do you do?
Be calm, my four-legged brethren. Be calm.
Okay. So, you reach out, and as you walk past each animal and with your hand up, just sort of passing it in front of them, you all notice that each animal starts to become calm and quit prancing and pawing at the ground with their hooves, and they seem like everything's okay.
And if I may, I'll move towards the front of the line. I'm not trying to push past anybody, but I'm going to move towards the front.
Come on by, buddy, as you ease my animal.
All right.
Be calm.
Do you want to go ahead? Do you want to go ahead of COVID, or equal, or behind?
I'll stay slightly behind him.
That may be the beast.
I know. That's why I'm walking up here to try to talk to it if necessary.
I don't necessarily think we should travel any further with the horses.
No, I don't think we should take them any further. But they're not going to flee in terror right now.
Kettle Tom
So
says,
we don't need to time.
Kettle Tom says, how long will they stay calm? Because I'm sure the beast will call out again.
They'll remain calm for, according to what I'm reading, at least an hour. 1 turn per level. Oh, I'm sorry, seven turns. I mean, I've got 1 turn plus 1 round per level. So 1 turn, 10 minutes, and 6 rounds.
70 minutes.
So long enough for this thing to show itself.
Okay. So you guys go ahead and take the horses forward with you, or what do you do?
I say we leave the horses here and move forward on foot.
COVID, you're still in front. What do you want to do?
I said I don't think we should necessarily take the horses with us at this point. I think whatever we run into, let's say it's hungry. I mean,
Well, I think we'll be more of a distraction than the horses. So
I just don't see the need to take the horses into danger. I mean, we're in the middle of the woods.
I
so it
agree.
looks like.
I agree.
Why don't we just lean back here and go forward and see what's up? We know it's right ahead. I'm sure it
Yes,
knows
very
we're here.
good.
Matter
The
of fact, I
horses
do
will
some
stay here and
thinking.
stay calm. So
It's
we're
actually
okay.
watching.
It may not know we're here yet.
Should
I think it does.
As far as you know, no, you don't get the feeling. Okay, so Kettle Tom says, okay, so he looks around and he just kind of gets off his horse and pats it and drops the reins on the ground and starts to head forward without it.
How do you same time?
I'll say, Tom, don't jump the gun with your sword. Give me at least a chance to talk to him.
He says, oh, violence is a last resort for me. Violence is a last resort for me, Shadrach. I'm not a seeker of violence.
Thank you. Good.
You guys remember that time that Shadrach got eaten by a purple worm? Man, that was something else.
Oh yeah.
That came out of nowhere. What are you looking for?
I don't want a repeat of that, buddy, so let's proceed with caution.
Yes, I agree with that.
So, is the marching order the same as you continue to move forward? COVID first?
Chad was
Hearing no objections, then Shadrach, do you drop back to the back?
No, I stay. I'm going to keep moving up. We're slightly behind COVID.
Okay.
If the creature shows up, I'm going to try to talk to it.
All right. So there.
Shad. We're going to run into the creature. Why don't you just take the lead?
Well, all right. I can do that because I can move through this stuff a lot easier than you can.
Well, then.
But I'm not going to get ahead of everybody. So I'm not. No, I'm just going to. All right. I'll take the lead.
I mean, hopefully we're not coming to kill it. We're coming to talk.
My hands are at my sides and they're open. I'm not showing any kind of aggression.
I have no weapons out.
I'm going to start playing a song on my lute.
Excellent.
A very relaxing, mellow tune.
Let's hope it thinks so.
Does anyone else wish to do anything before proceeding on into whatever thing is here?
I'm going to turn back around and look at the rest of the group and say, do you think we should let it know that we're here? Or should we just kind of like act? Well, okay, well, you're making noise, that's one thing, but don't you think we should let it know that we're here in peace or just walk up on it? What do you think?
Well, announce yourself if you wish.
I'm pretty sure it already knows we're here.
Are y'all okay with that?
I'm pretty sure it already knows we're here, dude.
All right.
I don't think we need to be too loud for the
walking forward and say, we have come in peace.
Well,
Not really loud.
As you look ahead, you don't see a cave anywhere up anytime soon, so you can certainly say that, but you don't know if anyone's around to hear it other than you and that weird rat fight.
Let's keep walking.
I'm going to keep walking and keep the cave or the cliff wall to my right.
So Shadrach's up front now. Nice.
Can I look around and use alertness to see if anything's been disturbed, messed up, to where like they've cleared up an area where that's where they're living? 17.
The terrain looks like natural and undisturbed, I guess. There's like dirt that's collected sort of at the edge of the cliff that makes a little slope, and there's plants and things and just nature. Nothing looks like there's no cracked stone from a fight or a footprint anywhere from something that's been by here recently, that other than like, you know, the rat fight's making a bunch of noise for some reason. That might be...
Haven't we moved past the rat fight?
Well, he wanted to do something, so I felt like giving him the explanation. So you're gonna have to be a little patient. So you walk forward, and we have the sound of soft footfalls on sort of a rock, dirty kind of trail, with occasional like vines or roots that cross it. We have Reginald playing some sort of tune. Yes, Reginald?
I'm going to lag to the back of the group, and I'm not going to let the horses out of my sight. I'm going to like stay within a distance where I can see them, and if we're still moving by then, we'll need to bring them up.
Okay. Well, you guys walk about 50 more feet, and you don't see anything up ahead, and the horses are just where they are. So if you wish to do something with them,
go
ahead.
24.
24. Still doesn't feel like anything's looking. Then you walk another 100 feet, and now the horses are almost out of sight, Reginald, and so is your group. So what do you want to do?
We need to bring up the horses. I stopped playing. I'll get them.
Shadrach, go ahead.
I'm gonna beckon a crow. I'm gonna cast another beckon and beckon a crow.
Okay. So a crow flies in. Roll me a d20.
10.
All right. This doesn't look like any crow that you recognize. And it lands on a tree branch and looks at you.
I'll toss my last good berry. Dang it! I toss my last good berry to the ground, and say, Brother Crow, or Sister Crow, whichever you may be, how far from here is the cave of Kolam?
Oh,
as the crow flies.
not that far.
Can you fly slightly ahead and tell us? Get as close as you can and let me know. We need to see Kolam. We need to meet this thing.
Make a charisma check, please.
Come on, baby. 23.
23. It says, I can. Are you sure?
Yes.
Kolam does not like visitors.
He may, we need to see him. It's a very important meeting.
Is it worth being eaten?
Yes.
Then follow me. So meanwhile, Reginald, you're going back and you're trying to get all the horses to come with you?
I'm going to walk back and I will put the reins of each horse over the saddle horn of the other, and I will lead Smoke and walk up the trail back to that point.
Okay.
I will tell everybody what the crow told me. The crow's going to show us where the cave is. He thinks we're going to be eaten. So we may want to leave the horses in a safe spot.
So as you all wait for Reginald to do what he said he wants to do, the crow flies away, forward.
Wait just a moment, please.
Make a charisma check.
Oh, come on, baby.
I can follow the
23.
All right.
23 again.
So the crow stops and lands.
Come on, Reginald.
So Reginald catches up and you all start to move again. Of course, not nearly as stealthy with all the horses in tow.
I still think we should bring the horses.
Crow's gonna kill him.
Say again?
Why are we bringing the horses?
I just didn't want them to get eaten back there when we couldn't see them.
I think they're more likely to get eaten with us than...
And then I unhook each one of them from the thing again, and I leave them be. All right.
But no, I don't disagree with you bringing them up closer to us. But yeah, the crow thinks we're going to get eaten.
All right. I just didn't want to lose the horses, man.
No, I agree. You did the right thing.
While they're calm.
Let's go.
Okay.
And I start walking, following the crow.
So
Lead on, brother.
You all start moving forward again, this time obviously a little quieter. Some of you make more noise than others, however. So as a group, you're not really that stealthy. You can certainly try to be quieter on an individual basis if you would like. Is that a yes from you? Roll your move silently.
Can I attempt it even though I don't have one?
I'll be back on with...
Oh, that's a success. Okay. Yeah, certainly you can try. Yep. Looks like a 10?
Yeah. 0.
Yeah, 10.
That's 100, right?
No, double 0 would be 100.
What is that? Just 10?
10. Which is good. Roll.
Okay, so Yeah, okay.
As a matter of fact, it's close enough to where I should look to see if that was actually successful.
Oh, right. Because if the other one would have had a number, it would have been like 11 or 12 or whatever. Okay. I was thinking it was more.
Okay. Okay. And then... Okay.
Who has a bird?
I have the sound of the forest in the background.
Okay.
Is that too loud, or are you alright?
No, that's fine. I just thought somebody got a pet.
Yeah, no birds will live in this house.
The cat's going, please.
Yeah, the cat. If the cat don't get it, then I'll let the snakes out. They can get it. Okay, so you notice, without having to roll, that COVID is like moving slow, like you, trying to move silently, and you're like, you can hear him, but he's still trying, and it's because of yeah. And you realize that he's an elf that's in armor, and so he's like losing part of his racial abilities. But that's the mechanical reason for it.
But don't I realize that at home or not?
Well, sure.
Do I think I'm moving slow? I mean, quietly or?
Well, it says that he always thinks that they're moving silently, so you're trying.
Well, I'm trying, but that doesn't mean I'm still stuck on. I mean, I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
So am I aware that I'm still making noise?
You're aware that wearing that armor is preventing you from moving silently.
Okay. I still try. I'm a little quieter.
Okay, so.
The giant's not listening for us anyway. It smells us.
Up. Around there's like a part of the wall that falls away to the right, and you can't see the wall around where the wall stops. But like 30 feet after that, you can see where the wall keeps going. And you don't know if the cave mouth is behind this part here that juts out, or if it's further away. Unless someone has the ability to tell me that they know how far they've traveled, and if they think that they're actually close enough to where they thought they needed to go from their view on the ledge. And I'm not sure if anyone has that.
I have no skills in that area.
I was just going to ask if the crow's hopping around saying, here it is, here it is.
The crow seemed to fly around the corner, and then you don't see it.
Well, fellas, I think that this is it. Up around the corner.
Let's proceed.
Do not have my horse.
All right. Yeah, secure the horses, and I'll start walking forward.
Well, the horses were left behind, according to Red.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm moving forward.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. Oh, look, it's the Chiron again. Oh.
It's the Chiron being eaten by a much larger creature.
It's a weird Chiron.
It's a Chiron.
That's you.
All right. What do you guys do?
Continue forward behind Shadrach, and every step that Shadrach takes cautiously and slowly in front of us, we take a half step. So unbeknownst to him, we are slowly getting further away from him. Or I should say he's getting further away from us.
Well, I'm going to walk up and look around the corner of the thing.
All right, so I don't know if you can see this, guys, online, but it's just basically you're kind of walking along, and then it kind of goes, and then you can see where it kind of starts going that way again. And then this, I'm not going to draw a bunch of trees here, but this is all heavy forest, and you can walk through the forest without a lot of issues, but, you know, There's a lot of...
I'm going to walk up to that corner and peek around.
Where Daryl lives...
Trail.
It's like where Daryl lives. And you could walk all along his property, but, you know, I'm sure there's like holes in the ground or turtles you can step on or whatever. So anyway, all right, so Shadrach, you're going to walk up there, huh? Is anyone going with Shadrach, or is he being the bad mofo all by himself?
I'm going.
Okay,
yeah,
so Reginald will go.
They're both bad mofos.
Anybody else?
I'm at the front of the group, but I am going forward.
All right, well, as of right now, Kettle Tom will go as well. And unless you want to pass him, he's going to hang out behind Shadrach.
We're all going.
You're all going?
Shadrach's in the lead and going a little faster than us.
Okay.
Because I'm slowing the rest down.
All right. And, okay. I forgot where pick was already. All right. Shadrach, you come up. And
I stop as to not make any more noise while Shadrach peers into the mouth of the beast.
That's not what I do.
When you look around...
Oh, that's what you're looking at?
I peek around the corner. That's not...
You see
it's not a cave at all.
It's a mouth.
It appears to be...
You're drawing teeth.
A cylinder of rock with water coming out of it like a spring and overflowing and coming down and kind of winding its way down, and you hadn't really noticed it until you got closer, but there's like a dip up here where the water goes and seeming to be a creek forming into the forest.
Do I see the crow?
Yeah, the crow's there sitting on the edge.
Is this it? Is this where Colam lives?
Yes.
Wow. Is it hidden? Is it hidden? Does he live in?
I don't know how Colam gets here.
Okay. You've done more than enough help. Thank you.
It flies away.
Well, the crow says this is it, and he doesn't know how the Colam comes and goes, but this is it.
We need to fill our water skins while we're here. This looks like good, fresh spring water.
I will detect if it is fresh and clear.
You go up and kind of sniff and examine it, and it seems to be totally fresh and like some kind of spring that someone has built a thing to enhance the ability to get the water.
A font.
Yes.
It's like in Gila, man. You got a pipe coming right out of the ground.
I would like Pick to roll a d10.
I like to roll.
3. If, as you guys are waiting and Shadrach has checked out the thing, this action goes before your thing. So, a clickety-clacking sound comes from the font. And emerging from the font, and should I say from the back of the font, is this oddball looking fucking creature that has kind of like what you thought were antlers is apparently 4 legs of this large ant looking type creature. And yes, you can take a picture. And I guess Sean's going to take a picture and send it to you guys so you can get a good look at it, which is fine.
Very good.
And so the thing that you rolled was to see if anyone would be surprised. So a 3 indicates a surprise, not to mention this creature has other abilities which lends itself to surprise. So if you have a +3 or more on your reaction adjustment from your dexterity, you are not surprised. If it is a 2 or less, you are surprised and may not act in this first round of the encounter. So, as the thing comes out and like crawls up and stands on the font, I would like, do you have enough of a reaction adjustment to not be surprised? Do you have an action you'd like to take?
At this time, no.
Picture's loaded.
Okay. Kettle Tom does not. He is surprised. Geek! Reginald, are you surprised?
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are. Okay. COVID, are you surprised?
I'm sorry, what was it that...
A +3 on your reaction adjustment from dexterity. I'm sorry, +2. +3. No. Is that right?
Nobody's going to have a +3, Todd.
3.
No one's got a +3. You'd be like 19 or higher dex. Oh, okay. Well, no, I just have an 18.
Okay.
So I do not.
And Shadrach, are you surprised?
You did this once before. And then you went back and changed it. Based on...
Yes, I'm surprised.
I'm just saying. I remember you did it once. Or something else.
I don't, but that doesn't mean you're wrong. I just don't.
I just remember
know
this situation came up because nobody had made it at the time. I don't know if it was necessarily dexterity in that. And then you went back and go, oh, well, okay, maybe it was supposed to be a +2. I'm just saying. I don't know. That's fine.
All right. So, apparently, Hick is the only one that could act. He has chosen, when I said action, he said no action. So theoretically, that means he can change his no action to an action at the end of the round. Are you also holding, well, when it comes time, you can tell me if you want to move or you want to delay to the next phase to move. Because you can change your action, but movement happens unless it's a ready action, obviously.
Right.
Okay. So, we're going to do this the right way. Roll initiative.
5.
Okay. So, on fast, you want to move?
No, I don't want to move.
Okay. On average, do you want to move?
Negative.
On slow, do you want to move?
Negative.
On very slow, do you want to move?
Negative.
Okay. It's time for the creature's turn. Because he got a 10, so he was, or it was delayed by a phase. So, it looks right at Shadrach. Shadrach? Oh, I'm sorry. This is everyone. Well, not really. Shadrach, you're kind of up there by yourself. So, Shadrach, make a charisma check, please. And we can't hear you, just so you're aware.
29.
29. Very good. Okay. The creature moves forward, attacking you with its insect-like forelegs. First strike. Hits an armor class of -6. Now you're surprised, so you don't get any dex on your armor class. Is that a hit? Yes? Okay. So you need to, or I need to roll, let's see, this is large. So it would be this. And you're, oh man. Okay. It pushes you. It doesn't do any damage, and you're kind of like, it kind of like pushes off your shoulder, not very hard at all. The second one, it tries with its other one. It's an armor class of -8. And rolls the same goddamn thing. Okay. So it just basically comes up and goes, doo-doo, tries to push you, and it kind of slips off your shoulder and your armor. And instead of like hooking you with its little hook-like appendages. And then that's all it does. We are now at the end of the round. Nothing. Okay.
I'll draw a weapon. But
Okay.
I'm not advancing.
Okay. Now we are out of surprise. We go to the next round. Actions. Shadrach, you're up front.
I am casting.
Okay. COVID.
Pulling the sword out, but holding my action. I guess attacking, but holding my action.
Okay. What is the trigger?
If it attacks me.
Or are you just saying attack and then... Well,
so if I have to attack, I can attack.
Oh, okay.
I'm hoping that's not necessary.
Okay.
I'm hoping somebody figures out this thing good or something.
Okay. And Kettle Tom will do the same thing. Reginald.
I'm going to ready an attack action.
All right. Roll initiative, Reginald. Beat a 7.
7.
Oh, pick.
It's
You want
always
to
it's
throw
always
the
in these
monkey?
moments.
Oh no, I don't spank the monkey.
You don't want to throw the monkey?
Nope.
Pick refuses to spank the monkey. All right.
He's a family man.
Reginald, roll a d20. Natural 20 for me.
Are you kidding me? Because I rolled a natural 20.
Okay.
Oh, hey,
That's okay.
thank you again.
So, what that means is it happens to both. So let's start with my side. Okay, and Reginald, roll a d20 for your side.
15.
Okay.
Come on, baby.
Okay, so that's weird. So as you guys are like the surprise is over and you're like getting ready and you're cautiously standing there, Reginald, you just kind of like you hear from way in the back as if something's going on with the mounts. The creature, he like, Shadrach, you notice that there's a piece of the creature's chitinous exoskeleton, otherwise known as bug skin, on its chest that's like a piece of it is hanging off and it's barely attached, like if somebody had somehow it's injured and it's underneath the flesh of this creature is exposed, so it's like its chest plate is fucked up, and that's what you notice. Okay, so anyone on fast? When does your spell go off, Shadrach?
It's 4.
Okay, that would be average. All right, well, everyone else is just kind of holding, waiting to see what happens. So your spell would go off on 4.
I'm casting Entangle.
Okay.
Okay, a 40-foot cube. The grasses, weeds, and bushes, and even trees wrap, twist, and entwine about the creature, holding them fast for the duration of the spell. Unless he's exceptionally large or strong, then he can just, it doesn't really going to affect him. So if this thing is like gargantuan and super strong, it'll just break out of it.
It slows the move.
It's considered,
Yeah.
it's considered large.
Okay, so it's not gargantuan and super strong then. It's not like a blue whale or something.
Well, you don't know about its strength, but you can certainly tell its
Okay.
size.
It says saving throw for 1/2. I don't know what that means.
That's
Because
for
there's no
its,
damage.
it's for its movement. If it fails its save, then it's like stuck fast.
I see what that is. Okay.
It would be considered
So
grappled.
I'm casting Entangle directly on top of this thing.
Okay, so there has to be something. It doesn't cause anything to grow. There has to be something in the area that can actually entangle the creature. So what you did is you looked around and you saw that there is some like vines and thin tree-like and roots that are all around the area, and your spell causes them to move a little bit and kind of like whip out like lashes and try to ensnare the creature.
Hinder its legs and stuff, yeah.
And it will get a saving throw versus spells. Okay, so you can tell that the creature is like a slippery cuss. The things start to wrap around its legs, and it goes whoop, pulls out its leg like if you tried to grab a cat's back leg, and it goes whoop, and pulls it out of your hand. And then another root that's at the base of the font comes up and encircles the creature, and it's like able to like almost like shrink itself, and it comes out. But then there's one that flops down from a tree that's kind of overhanging, and it grabs onto one of its front legs, and you can tell that it's partially entangled. And that is how your spell goes. Okay. So now we go to the creature, and the creature will attempt to free itself by moving half speed. You didn't actually say what the area of effect was. You said it was 40-foot square or cubed or whatever, but
you're right.
I'm assuming that you've set it up to where it doesn't entangle you or the people behind you. And in this particular...
My intention was to catch it from like the cliff wall to where the cliff wall line would creep down and grab it, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
So if it moves forward, it would be able to get out of the area of effect of the spell. So with its save, I think it doesn't say it's reduced to 10 foot around on its movement. So it will go ahead and just take its action and move out of the entangle and come up here, and I need to see if it still gets its action or if that's its action to just move.
It has to escape the area, so I would say that's its action, but that's just me.
Well, we're going to find out.
But I understand if it doesn't, so that's cool. Either way, I tried.
Okay. The grasses, weeds, bushes, and even trees wrap, twist, and entwine about the creature, holding them fast. A creature that rolls a successful saving throw can escape the area, moving at only 10 foot per round until out of the area. Okay, so it's just movement. All right. So it moves. Basically, it moves towards you, and as it struggles, it pulls out, and it's going to try to just overrun you. So what that means is you can get a free attack on it as it's coming straight ahead, if you want.
I don't have any weapon in hand, so I'm just going to have to let it run me down.
Okay. So now you save versus paralyzation.
All right. Paralyzing. Oh, that's a good one. Do I count anything into it?
No.
Okay. Easily, yes.
Okay, so you're not knocked down, but you are displaced over a square. So as it bumps into you, it kind of pushes you back where your back is against the wall of the cliff. And now it's like right there. And that's where it stops. Okay. And now it is everyone else's turn. So it hasn't moved to attack anyone other than the Shadrach with the overrun, and you can interpret that as an attack if you'd like. So does anyone want to do anything? And we'll start with COVID, because you're closest.
Well, I was holding my action and it hasn't done anything yet, but I mean, do I know it's done? That it can't do anything before I can do something at this point? Or am I still holding my? You know what I'm asking?
Well,
I was holding my action to see what it was like until the end of the round, but if it's done, obviously it's the end of the round. I'm just saying, do I know that, or am I? You see what I'm saying?
I guess you don't know it, but you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I thought your thing was if it attacks you, then you attack it.
It didn't, but okay. I was holding to the end of the round.
All right, so now it's the end of the round.
I'm going to continue to hold for the moment. I mean, I can go. I'm going to not.
Well, now, I mean, you're right first, so.
Okay. I can't wait till somebody else will. I mean, I don't know what everybody else is going to do.
That's right.
That's the problem. That's why I was going to continue to hold and find out. Can I do that? I mean, and still go this round if necessary, or?
No, because it's. I mean, I could say sure, but it seems like it's cheating.
Okay, well, that's what I meant. Can I say a couple words and maybe get
a
response from somebody? What are we doing here?
Yeah, if your action is to parlay, then
what are we doing?
Speak a lot, if you want to say anything.
No, I want to do something short.
Okay.
What are we doing here is what I say to the group.
Okay, Reginald, you got your hand up?
As a question.
At the end of the round, I will launch my arrow.
Pick?
I'm moving up.
Where do you want to go?
Next to Toby.
Okay. Kettle Tom is remaining. Actions go before movement. So, Reginald, you launch an arrow at what?
The beast.
Okay. Are you going to move so you can get a clear shot?
I will step out, yes.
You move 2 squares to your left, and you have a clear shot except for the creature is in melee with Shadrach, so you can do a called shot or not.
I will.
Okay, so in the phase that you're delaying, COVID, do you want to do anything?
Yes. Can I attempt to grapple it?
Sure.
Like, trying to maybe get it from behind, like behind the upper torso, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, you can certainly try. It's facing you, so...
Yeah, well, I got enough movement to move around it. And not that it won't mean it can't see its face.
Correct.
Put a bridle on it and ride that rest.
That's what I was kind of thinking. I'm going to try and hop on its abdomen and grab it from behind, like to try and ride it or buck it, whatever. Follow me?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
Okay.
However I can do that. I know it can change face, but it might not. So I'm going to try and move around the side and see what happens.
So as you go to move, it does change its facing.
Okay. Keep moving me maximum movement around the side so I'm out of its threat.
Well, if you're staying out of its threat, then you got to be that wide. But it let's put it this way. Basically, wherever you go, just tell me where you stop. So let's say
right there's fine. No, right there's fine.
Okay, and then it goes, oh.
And that's fine. Now it's back to everybody else, and I move in for it. I move in to try and grapple it.
So, Shadrach, do you want to take a free attack at the back of this creature?
I'm unarmed right now, so no.
Okay. So, okay, so you want to try to grapple, huh? Okay. See if you can enter it square first. Roll to hit.
Really?
And now, are you trying to wrestle, or are you just trying to throw it on the ground and be on top of it?
Ideally, I'd like to get on its abdomen in the back, like I'm going to ride it, but my arms are going to be up underneath its arms in the front, trying to restrain it.
Okay.
Which is fucked
so
up.
That's what it is. That's wrestling. Okay, so roll
I guess. Melee, right? You can melee.
Yes. You're just trying to be able to get close enough to grab it.
Armor class 5.
Armor class 5? Okay. Alright, so you go to try to grapple it. It gets a free attack on you because it is armed and you've I'm just assuming you put the shield down and put your sword away, or you drop them or whatever. I have to put the shield down in order to try and grapple it, right? I mean, I can't do it with the shield. Right? No. Then no, I don't have. Well, let's put it this way. Sure, you can try, but you'll have super negative. Correct. So no, I drop the shield. So it gets a free attack on you, and it hits an armor class of 7, which I'm guessing is a miss. Okay. So then you hit armor class 5, which means you enter it square, and now you both do an opposed attack roll, and whoever hits the lowest armor class wins. So roll again to hit, and tell me what armor class you hit. And that's going off your melee. 0. Armor class 0? Okay. So it hit an armor class of -7. So what that means is, as you move in, and you grapple it, and then you start like hand fighting and trying to grab it and do what you say, it's able to like not only use its front limbs, but then the second set come up and they push your legs out. And you like go doo-doo-doo, and you land on your knee, and you're like, ooh, fucker. And then you just kind of stand up and you end up back in your square. All right. Now, Reginald, it is the next aftermarket phase, and you get to shoot. And you've done your called shot delay, so if you still wish to shoot at this time, you may. And the back is wide open to you.
I shall.
You get a +1 for a flank.
Oh. I rolled an natural 20.
Explode!
15 hits an armor class of 1.
I gotta look that up. That's close. That's close.
Only when I get a +1, so that's an armor class of 0.
Fuck, I forgot the name of this fucking creature.
Ergle, damn.
Oh, no, I didn't. That's all right. Okay, that's what I thought. My bad.
It's a giant crab snapper.
It's out of Cosmenagerie.
Some of you classic players may recognize. Jason, you think you know what it is?
I have no problem.
Can I say?
Sure.
Ankheg.
You are correct. It is the Ankheg, a classic D&D monster.
What you said?
Ankheg. Like Ankheg. Okay, so armor class. Yeah, okay. You hit. Roll Dinkus. And add 1 because your second shot hit was good enough to add another shot.
Okay.
Or another point, I should say.
Okay. Is a 4 +1 is 5.
Why is it +1?
You just said add a plus. Oh, my +1. Okay, so it's 4.
No, it was. You should add +1 for your damage. That's good. Okay. Roll percentile. Let's see where you got it. Roll percentile. Let's see where you got it.
$68.
Oh, interesting. So, as the grapple is happening and COVID moves in like a boss on this creature, bigger than him, but you know, unfortunately, he's dealing with a larger creature, and the power and strength of it is able to repel his attack. Just for a second, the thing rights itself and turns, and your arrow sinks right into that place where that fucking piece of armor is missing. And so it like sinks in, and the creature's like, yeah! And now we're at the end of the round. So we go to, unless Pick, did you want to, you moved, so you still have an action change, I guess.
I like
to move. Now, have you moved this round?
I moved to the side where COVID was going, and that's when he moved up and the insect moved. And
is that this round?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you've already moved, then you can't move anymore.
Okay.
Well, you You can, but you can't hit anything. So theoretically, your action is moved. So yes, if you'd like to move somewhere, you may.
So I can go up there and threaten his flank.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. And now, do you want to do flank, or do you want to be in one of his rear squares?
Rear.
All right. So you're right next to Shadrach, who's like against the wall, going, "Hey!" Okay. Kettle Tom is like, this is making me uncomfortable. I don't know. And he will move up. He will move up and he will get in front of Shadrach because there is a square there. And he will protect Shadrach against any kind of attack, but he will not attack. And Reginald, you moved and shot one arrow, so you're done. And you moved and attacked and you're done, so everyone's done. Okay.
Can I ask something again? Nobody answered me last time, so.
Go ahead, sure.
Are we killing this thing? And that's in the form of a question. That's something that everybody can reply to.
I was getting ready to try something. I mean, but if this thing is attacking me, it's making it difficult.
All right, that's the end of the
If
round.
you heal it, if you can't heal it, we'll kill it.
New
I
round.
can try to heal it, but I have to touch it to do it.
Round number 3.
Yes, I'm not going to let you do that.
Round number 3. Actions. COVID.
Continue with what I'm working on there, trying to
So attack.
wrestle with it.
You don't have to. You just
Yes.
attack.
Yes.
Okay. Just be aware of the conditions of your attack. If you're attacking unarmed, then it'll get a free attack of opportunity on you. So.
I can't grapple with a weapon in my hand, right?
I mean, you can, but it's
Yeah, I know,
like
but
a
it's on a
super
level more
negative.
different. Yeah, that's why I'm not doing it that way.
It's kind of like working on your truck.
I understand.
Eating an ice cream. Okay. And then who's next? It's Kettle Tom. Kettle Tom's like, there's something, he says,
That's kind of what I'm feeling.
he says,
But nobody will say anything.
he says, I refuse to attack it, but I will protect you all if I can. Pick.
Can you heal it?
Yeah? Pick.
My action, I'm taking my sword and shove it in the ground. Stop.
Would that be parlay?
Yes.
Okay. Shadrach, action.
I'm casting.
Casting a spell, okay. And Reginald, since you're the furthest away, that's why you're last.
I am holding my readied action till the end of the round. It's a called shot.
So the trigger is the end of the round?
I'm readying the action.
You're readying the attack, but what is the trigger?
The end of the round.
Okay.
I'm waiting till everybody else does their thing and seeing what's going on.
All
That's kind of what
right.
I was trying to do that.
Okay. So,
Well, seeing
pick.
as it's going to get to go first over me, then I'll...
Pick, roll initiative.
If
Do you want to change before
No,
we
if
roll?
pick's successful, I won't interfere with it, because it would go first anyway, you said, so...
Well, it doesn't go first.
I know,
It only
but-
gets an attack of if a condition gives it an attack of opportunity, theoretically that could go first, but it's not.
I got
The
you.
size of it usually puts it slower than man size because it's large. Okay, a 5, and I rolled a 2. Okay, so anyone on fast? No?
What do I...
Grappling goes on fast.
And he hasn't done his thing yet. The sword in the ground
No,
thing. Okay.
but that seems like that would be a fast action, so theoretically you can say you can go.
You can go.
Okay, so you do what you say, you jam the sword in the ground and you
Stop.
put your hands out and say stop. Okay. Kettle Tom certainly looks at you. Okay, and then who else wants to go on fast? Anybody? Okay.
I'm delaying.
Yeah, that your trigger hasn't gone off yet, right?
I'm delaying.
Okay. And then we go to average. The winner's side of average is the creature. Oh, wow. Okay. The creature will attempt to move away from everyone and into the woods. So, Kettle Tom and COVID may take an attack of opportunity if they wish. Kettle Tom does not.
I do not have it.
And so with the move action, it will move and then get like 1, 2, 3, 4 to there, and now it has some partial cover because of the forest that I haven't drawn out, but it's in the forest. Okay, so that was on the winner side of average. Now we go to the loser side of average.
I retrieved my shield. It's probably right for me.
Shadrach, what's up? When did your spell go off?
Goes off on, I cast it on level, it's 5.
Okay, that's average. You're up.
My turn. I walk towards the creature. My hands are extended at my side with my palms open. I say, Kolam, we have not come here to fight you. And I extend my hand forward and say, may Skell's blessing heal the wound that I see in your chest.
Okay, so I'm guessing you can't see on the map or hear what I just described where the creature fled and did...
Yes, I'm walking towards it.
Okay, well you can't walk and cast a spell. You have to stay still, cast the spell, and then you can move after that. Unless the spell...
Well, it was a touch spell, so I guess I blew the spell. I was going to touch him and heal him, but I can't do that again.
No, unless you want to cast something else.
I blew the spell because I was going to touch him and heal him when he was next to me, so...
Okay, just so we're clear, did you understand when I said he fled, and can you see on the screen?
I saw that, and I thought I could at least walk up to him and touch him.
Okay, well you're just...
I mean, if I was casting Cure or a Cause-like wound, it'd be an attack. I would assume I could at least move and attack. But, okay. I'll blew the spell. That's fine.
Well, just as Sean may not know how to fight with a giant shield and a sword, you should know how your spells work. So if you want to cast something, you said cast a spell, you didn't realize you were going to lose initiative. So the thing is, if there's another spell that you want to cast so you don't just waste the slot, you can do that. Or you can pick whatever first level slot if you don't want to cast something or waste something that was bigger.
I'm going to have to... Alright, I will cast, I will cast... Damn it.
And if you don't have something that's an average spell, then, then there you go. Then you would be
almost
like...
all of them are average, but... caramba.
Alright, well...
Alright. I cast Oxen Strength on myself.
Alright, very good. Okay. Okay, so anyone else on average?
Oh, I also make sure I'm facing the direction it took off. Just wait and see what everybody else is doing.
Okay. Winner's side of slow, it continues on into the forest until you can't see it anymore. And unless somebody wants to attack or do something else...
I want to call after it.
Combat
call after it. Call his name. Kolam, come back!
Not so loud.
Alright.
The real Kolam in here.
So Kolam has an arrow stuck in his thorax, and he has successfully fled the combat, and combat is over. You all are free to do whatever it is you'd like to do here at the font of Endless Hopelessness.
I move up to Kettle Tom.
You move what?
Up to Kettle Tom.
Okay.
Something didn't seem right about attacking this thing. I don't know why. What was going through your mind?
I saw the way it attempted to hit Shad, and then all it did was It's like it was pulling its blows. So unless it recognized something about shad that it didn't want to hit, I didn't feel like it just didn't seem as aggressive. So
I agree. It's fled from us. It should have been looked wounded. If it was a terrible beast, it would have just attacked us wildly. But that horrible looking monster,
I thought it did.
ran away from us.
I thought it did attack you. That's why I shot.
Kettle Tom
Look at
says,
me.
I can see how Reginald would think so I wouldn't be so quick to judge him on, after all, wouldn't you want someone to stand up for you?
But I was shocked myself. It knocked me aside and did me no injury.
I think it was a difficult situation all around, but Reginald, I don't hold you any ill. Maybe, I will say this, it is possible it was a poor choice by you, but I'm not going to judge you for it. So.
Well, isn't that sweet?
And we all
I'm going to need to get these horses. It's obviously not here to help us.
Well, not now anyway. I think that when you shot it with an arrow, it might have changed the whole aspect of this encounter, but maybe we'll have to, I don't know.
That's why I didn't hurt it when I saw the injury.
I saw him come out and shove Shadrach against the wall and attack him. That's all I saw.
I thought he was going
You didn't cry out. You didn't say, hold your actions. You didn't say, it's wounded. I don't know. It looked like it
would stop all over me, and it didn't.
Well, it looked like it was trying.
I thought so. I thought it would.
Well, we need to, I think, move on, I guess. Let's get the horses and keep moving toward the shore.
Kettle Tom starts to walk back towards the horses.
As I'll walk too, as I guess we're all moving. You know, the situation might still be salvaged if the right person or two went to seek this creature out. It didn't mean to harm him. I don't think it would mean to harm him again. And on top of that, I don't think he would be harmed if he's by himself. I think your dad or Kettle Tom. I mean, I think one of you two, like you said, you seen it was wounded. You could heal it. That would definitely help us. It would help it, and I think it would help us.
I might be able to crack it magically, but I have to check first.
What'd you say, Reggie?
I thought that might be a good way to make friends if you guys could heal it, but
I agree.
It ran away too quick. It ran away too quick.
Kettle Tom says, well, maybe we'll get another chance, and maybe, but I would say we should probably plan as if we have made an enemy. Just my 2 cents. My 2 copper coins.
It'd be nice to have it on our side.
I thought it might be an intelligent creature, but it appears to be a mindless beast.
I'm hoping it's intelligent enough to know that.
I think if it was mindless,
hold on, Shadrach. Pig's talking. Go ahead.
I think it's intelligent enough to know that it got itself away when we stopped attacking. So I'm hoping, and I'm looking at Tom, that it doesn't think that we're out to get him.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's.
Because obviously we could have surrounded it and attacked it more.
You guys make it back to the horses, and they're all kind of just hanging out there.
Yeah, because the protector of the woods, must be more powerful than just brush one person aside. So if this was it, I don't think it. Obviously, like you said, I don't think it was trying to do us any harm. I don't know. I mean, certainly it would have done something, especially if we went to its cave and it doesn't like people at its cave. I mean, there's something don't seem right about this whole situation. I don't know.
Maybe this isn't the creature we saw.
It sure ain't the right size, right? Or is it?
It was
I mean, I didn't
large.
see it.
That was large, correct?
Yeah. And you're the one that caught the glimpse of it before, so as I described, what turns out, instead of being antlers or horns, it was the weird legs that were sticking up as it was climbing through the trees, basically. All right, so you guys go. You're with the horses, and you head anywhere in particular? And who's leading the way? Is Shadrach leading the way again, or Reggie? You want to do it?
Where are we going?
I'll lead the way along the cliff, and then I'm going to stay in the woods until we get to the shoreline. I think that's the best approach from the west of the fort. Don't you guys think?
How far back? Do you stick along the cliff edge until it's kind of like back to ground level, and then you head towards the ocean? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
Before we leave,
well, we should head north at some point, not too far past the cave. What we think is the cave.
Okay, so is your goal to run into the fort or go past the fort?
I want to go west beyond the fort and then head north.
Okay.
In the woods, and then eventually northeast toward the shore.
Sure. Okay. So, did you want to say something?
Before we leave the area, I wanted to ask everyone a question. I'm like, all right, so this thing has a cave here, somewhere where it calls its own. What if we were to try and find the way in there, and then maybe Shadrach leaves a good berry in there for it? You know, maybe on a piece of something from us that knows it was left from us. Inside its lair, I think it would be safe from other creatures. Perhaps, you know, it'll be like a good gesture. It'll read it as that.
Yeah, anything's worth a try. I'll be filling my water skins when he's discussing this.
I mean, I'll donate the good berry if the shad's out of them, but I mean, it should be safe inside its lair, wherever that is. I would think, versus out here anyway.
And just for reference sake, you guys are having this discussion right before you start heading, like northwest towards the ocean. You're assuming that you've made it enough past the fort where you're not going to run into the back of it. So, go ahead and carry on.
That's the idea.
Yeah, everything's good there. So, were you guys done? No.
I take a small sack, and I take some. I take some Cherokee, some hardtack, some stuff like that, and a good berry. And I look for the entrance of this thing's cave. I look for what might be wherever it came out of behind the pillar.
Okay, so I guess
hang on.
I just said that you guys have made it back to the.
No, I asked that before we leave the cave entrance, and that's the whole thing I said.
Okay.
Let's leave something in its lair.
That's fine.
Before, and then you said something. But I was still talking about leaving something.
Don't need to get more.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying. That's what I'm.
Okay.
That's my intent.
All right.
I didn't know you were trying to speed us past it. Anyway, I try to find it. I'll go in and do all this with my own shit.
Well, this is what you find.
Well, so there's nothing. I know, but I never looked at it. I know it came out from somewhere around the pillar thing. I don't know. Is there somewhere where that like it's lair or something? I don't know. I'm looking. I'm getting off my horse. Okay. I walk around looking because I don't know.
Roll a d6. 2. And according to your elven abilities, what does a 2 get you on your searching for secret doors?
If I'm within 10 feet, I need a 1. I'm actively searching a 2 and 6.
Okay.
A 1 or 2 and 6.
So, as you start to actively search in this area around the font, and your elven ability picks up I don't know, it's like a weird smell coming from the rocks behind the font. And as you go over there, you can see that there's like a hidden crack that if you approach it from the other side, it appears like if something was to flatten it out considerably, it could like fit there like a cat or a snake can fit through a hole that doesn't seem like it could fit. Or a pig that gets out of a pen because
I can't get through it.
Not with what you're wearing.
It look like I could if I was wearing armor.
It's possible. You can certainly try.
Hey, Shadrach, come here.
And that's right here.
Shadrach, come over here.
I'm there.
I have armor on. I can't go through this sliver of a wall, this opening that it must squeeze through somehow. Apparently that's its lair in there. Could you, and I hold out a small sack with some food bits and a good berry, and could you go in and set this in there so it'll find it later?
I look at you, and then I look back at Pick, and then I was like, he's a lot smaller than I am.
I could possibly fit through there if I didn't have armor on. I'm looking at you because you don't have armor on, and he does. That's the issue at hand. And I even throw in an apple that I was giving my horse.
I'm not going in that crack.
Say no.
Kettle Tom looks over at you, Pick, and what's your size?
5'3", 117, or 5'3", 108.
He looks at you and he says, "You're mighty brave if you did go in there. Think you can fit?"
I can get in.
You don't have to go far. I mean, I just...
Shoot to me, I'll
Whether
go.
you just out here or something else we need. I don't think anything's going to venture in there.
Pick, if you go in there and something gets you, what can we do?
I'll tie a rope around you and I yank you.
Probably not much. Give it here, I'm going.
I give it to you. I tie a rope around your waist.
You allow that?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. And you see the sliver that he was referring to. It's awful thin. Alright.
It's filling with something with air makes it small. You ever knows what?
Yeah.
Alright, so you turn and you use one of your tricks. You make yourself almost flatter. It's a way that you're able to hide in shadows. Roll your hide in shadows.
86.
And what is your hide in shadows?
85. Oh no. 50.
Alright, so you get up there and
I think I am.
you
I think
kind
I
of
am.
get part of the way in and your shoulder, and you're like, oh cool, this is going to work. And then you flatten and you start to move slowly and you shimmy, and then you're like, no, the ass ain't going to let you in. So you try even moving that, and then it's like, nope, now the dinkus is stuck. So even though you're very, very slight, you are unable to finagle your way into this, even though you think you could if you like had time to practice, but not at this time.
Are you close enough to toss it in there?
I might be able to do that. When I look up, just the leg gets wider.
Doesn't anybody wonder how this giant monster got through that crack?
It seems like it's kind of the same, kind of all the way up. It goes up to about 10 or 11 feet.
You ever step on a roach and watch it get up and run away?
Probably not gonna. Oh, look at you go with the fucking jam. Bang, you get a 37. So yeah, probably not gonna work. But like I said, it's the same thing with picking locks. You're like, fuck, I can't do this. But I can fucking practice it, and then when I get good enough, then I can. It's the same thing with this.
Right on.
So unless there is another ability or a spell or some type of racial thing that could allow you or someone else another attempt, obviously anyone can try anything, but there are limits. Like you can't constantly try to fit into something that it's like you can try when you're that level one time. So
could you imagine if you make it in and then you fail rolling getting out? Then what?
And obviously you could sit there and get your shovel out and try to dig a hole or chip away at this rock, but that would bring its own sound and other attractions. So
for the next 20 years,
you can try anything, but and then obviously there's some things you can try and it gets harder each time you fail because it's like, this ain't gonna fucking work. So anyway,
just toss it in.
I'm kind of tweaked and torqued right here. There's no tossing.
You can step back out you're not stuck.
Right.
Okay.
Do whatever you got to do.
Just come back out and I'll reach in as far as I can.
And drop it in behind the crevice, if you will.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
It's sad.
it's in there, so.
Just don't stop. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I would like
And tie the rope.
COVID to roll a d12.
7.
You guys are getting lucky tonight. You guys are in dangerous territory. Nothing's coming to get you. Okay, so now you guys leave. You go to the place that I had described, and then you start going northwest through the forest. It's a little slow going, leading the horses, but you don't run into any bullshit according to the dice that was just rolled. And you make it to the ocean, and as you look to your right towards where you think the fort would be, you think that you would have to keep going towards it to see it past the forest and whatever that's in between you and it. If you're not in some weird interdimensional gateway that goes to fucking Ocean World. So it depends on where you guys want to go now. Go ahead, Reggie.
We should back into the forest and head a little further, a little closer along the coast toward the fort, so that when night falls, or do we want to rush the boat and try to take the boat? What do you guys think? We can see it from here, but it's got a little ways to go.
It's funny, when you make it down to the beach, you hear the sound of ocean birds and the waves, but there's like the smell of the ocean hits you for the first time. Some of you have never been this close to the oceans. Others of you realize that this is what an ocean smells like because there's dead things that wash up on shore and driftwood and other creatures skittering around, maybe some crabs or whatever, and birds will come down and try to get the crab, and so there's all this life. But there's one thing that's either it's weird or it's not, but there's no wind at all. It's like the smell is, you'd love a breeze right now, but being by the water and the beach right now, it's like it's almost baking you with the way that the terrain and the surroundings are set up right now, and there's no breeze to help alleviate that discomfort. And those of you that are wearing more clothes than perhaps you might need, obviously you're more uncomfortable. And at some point, if that continued exposure was to last for an indeterminate amount of time, it could become an issue. So, they probably can't wait for nightfall to come very soon, so you'll probably get a different feel. So,
with no wind, they may not be set sail tonight.
That's a good point.
Is it getting supper time or dinner time, whatever the later meal is?
Yeah, it is. It's a little bit the sun. You can still see the sun far off on the ocean horizon on your left, but it's low, as they say in the Avengers. Sun's getting real low.
I think we should head back into the wood line and move a little bit toward the east, get a little bit closer, and set up for the evening. Tie off the horses, and we'll move in this evening and take that ship. Who's with me?
What exactly is the plan? Because, you know, it ain't going to be just take the ship. And we're going to have to, you know, there's going to be other things we're going to have to deal with. You know, if they see or catch word of us taking the ship, then they're going to be all over us.
Where are we taking the ship?
I don't mean take the ship somewhere. I mean go in there and kill the slavers and free the slaves from the ship. When I say take the ship, I mean take it by force.
Okay.
And kill
all the
slaves.
people in the port, Reginald. Where are these slaves going to run to when they're free?
Wherever they're from. We're going to give them their freedom. You think they won't be grateful? Sure, they need to eat. And yeah, I'm sure you can help them with that. But I'm more concerned about just giving them their freedom. I can't feed them. They can go into the countryside. They can.
There's more people in the port than there is on the boat. If we free the people on the ship, all the people from the port are going to come out to fight us too.
That's right.
And they're going to kill all those slaves.
Kettle Tom says, Kettle Tom says, well, in place of a better idea, I guess I'm agreeing to the plan, Reginald. I'm sorry I can't be more help, but there you go.
I can do this.
Well, I hope you're a warrior. You say you are.
Oh, I am.
We'll need a blade to hack these fuckers down.
Now, how we plan to get to the ship? We're going to sneak around the coastline, up the beach, and onto the docks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we won't even have to go through the fort, I hope.
Well, we'll try use our archers to try and take out whoever's on watch at the beach side.
Shadrach said he can conceal us, and the forest runs pretty close to the fort, so we'll have that covered for a while, and we'll have the cover of night, if you guys are willing to do this at night.
Yeah, I mean,
Let me see if,
night or day, don't matter to me.
I want to see if my obscurement is mobile.
Yeah, that would help.
Yeah, if it's a fixed position, that won't be too helpful. Unless it's
Mobile.
It's a big enough area that'll get us past the guy.
area
Yeah.
we have to travel through.
Yeah, exactly. Well, either way, if we're passing a guard at a gate or at a sentry point or something, he needs to go anyway. So.
All right, so you guys make your way. How far do you want to go into the forest, and then you want to head towards the fort? That's why I understand what you're going for.
Okay, let me throw something else out there. We're going to need to escape at some point or retreat. So we're going to retreat wherever our horses are. It's going to be very difficult to run those horses through the wood line. Although we could run those fast we want along the beach. Is there a moon cloud, or is it dark yet?
It is not dark yet.
Was there a moon last night?
Let's see. It would be considered a waxing gibbous.
Which is?
It means it's after the full moon, but not yet to the half moon.
Was it up when it first got dark? Was the moon in the air, in the sky, in the stars, whatever?
The moon at this particular time is Right about the time the sun is setting, the moon is rising.
Perfect. So there's light for those of you that may need to see at night if we're running away on the beach. Also helps the horses see where they're going, so they're not so skittish, just being led in a general direction. Let's leave them somewhere where we can get to them. We know we're going to have to run back to them.
Great idea.
Does anyone have land-based riding?
I do not yet. I'm learning.
Reginald does. Okay, you know that horses don't like to run at night. That's not a thing. You can certainly walk horses with torches in front of them or have lamps on wagons, but horses don't generally run anywhere at night. So you can still choose to do that, but just realize that you'll be taking your life into your own hands.
All right. That's a bad idea.
I know that
dark.
some things like to move at night, but it's not a running thing. If you can see in the dark, that's different, but...
Well, how about a slow... Or
slow is fine.
A normal ride, not a... Just a normal...
I mean, they'll walk. You can certainly force them, but then there's...
It's not going to give us a hasty retreat.
Okay. Well, I mean,
But
any
I
kind of
agree
retreat is
that
better.
we will retreat to where our horses are. So leaving them inside the woodline near the beach is ideal.
All right.
So as you move closer, you start to hear sounds coming from what it sounds like some type of village.
Well, we don't want to get too close then.
So how
If we're
far...
hearing sound,
Without being able to see the fort, how would you like to determine where you stop?
we need to send a scout ahead to see.
And it's not, you can't see it not because it's dark, but it's because you'd have to get to the point where you can see through the trees. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, then force. I get it. But if we're hearing the noises of the village, I think we need to stop
For sure.
Okay. Well, you stop, and then do you remain there, or do you move anywhere else?
Does anyone? I'll volunteer to scout ahead.
If we hear them right now, I don't think we need to go any further.
Yeah, let's just leave the horses and go. We'll do our thing. What is it dark?
We're not leaving too long.
It's not quite. It's close, though.
I say
Like,
we
you
go-
guys are in lots of shade here right now, so...
So we move forward to where we can see the fort, and then we move when it gets...
Those of you with infravision, your eyes are starting to switch over.
It's in that spot
All
where
right,
Lincoln.
let's find the horses.
Okay? And then you guys keep going. Just tell me what you want to do.
How late in the evening you want to wait?
Tie off the horses,
Okay?
right?
You guys do that.
Sure.
What else?
And then move over toward the shoreline. Stay in the wood. Are you ready to do this, guys? Shadrach, are you prepared?
I mean, I'm down a couple spells, but I'm as ready as I'm going to be.
Are you
I
ready?
don't think we're going to have to do anything crazy, but we're going to have to fight.
Is there any crazy stuff you want to cast on yourself before we get in there and you have to cast?
At
Maybe
this
bless
point,
the
no. No, I think I'm going to save that stuff for when we really need it. Right now, I'm going to rely on the Windlash and Skell's Blessing.
All right, I think we can overwhelm them because they're not expecting it. I could be wrong.
I think it would be best also if we wait for them when they head.
Hold on, Shadrach. Hold on, Shadrach. Go ahead.
Do we want to wait till we can smell dinner cooking and catch them at that time? When we're all settling down for dinner?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Kettle Tom
Well, they
says
killed me.
I mean, unless they have a reason to wait for nightfall to make supper, most people try not to do anything after dark. It takes too many resources.
Okay.
So, with these people out here, they probably are either eating now or, they're getting ready for nighttime. So
we might be able to slip onto the boat with a little bit less, definitely less being seen by people if we wait until dark.
And then he kind of
The
steps
obscure
around
I
and he's
can
like,
make covers 60 square feet. It doesn't move, but it's also 10 feet high.
he says,
If we can sneak towards the boat, I can layer that thing in fog and they can't see it. Outside, they can't see it, I should say. People in the fort,
Can we see
wonder
through
why
it?
there's a fog around the boat.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Tom?
But it won't be smoke.
I was just going to say, with no wind, I would say normally, yeah, you could smell the cooking fires and kind of gauge how far, but all we have is the sounds. And since we've gotten this close and kind of tied our horses up and we're all kind of waiting, if you'll notice, the sounds have kind of quieted down too. And he's just kind of pointing that out, and you city slickers didn't really, but he's like, so.
Well, then let's move.
With my backpack with the horse, I don't need to take all that shit with me.
Okay.
Same.
Okay. Is anyone...
I have my spear in.
All right. Does anyone need me to know anything before you start to move?
I pull a javelin out, and
Okay.
I travel with a javelin in my hand because I may need to take out an opponent at a distance before we get there. Maybe keep him from sounding alarm or something.
And I'm guessing you put your
Oh,
gladius back in there, or...
well, I have them on. I have actual shield, sheaths.
Okay.
You know, they're
So
not.
you sheath it
that's
and-
extras on there. That's,
Okay.
Yeah. But obviously this thing goes in there. A couple of them. 'Cause they're-
Okay.
I've got my bow out and an arrow notch.
Okay. Go ahead, Shadrach.
I'm casting a spell on myself. Wild deer speed.
This sounds like a whiskey.
Wild
He's got
deer.
off through the woods
Wild
ahead.
deer speed. Second level.
Wild deer semen.
And
Okay.
when Covidius killed that elk or deer the other day, I collected the parts for it that I needed for the spell.
Okay.
I brought back the head so you can take something off of it if you need it.
What, explain the casting of the spell. Verbal, somatic, and material.
Alright, here we go. It says verbal, somatic, and material. So, reaching into my 6 demon bag, I get the scrapings from the hooves of a fleet herbivore. I hold it forth as I've done before with the others, like the horn and the hair and the claws, and I crush it in my hand. And I say, Mother Skell, give me the speed and strength of a deer now that I face my great enemy.
You see the, as you take the scrapings of the hooves and you kind of like put one foot out and sprinkle it down and put the other foot out and sprinkle it down, you all see this brown fuzzy energy come from the ground and swirl around the druid, and just for a brief second you see what appears to be a deer superimposed over the druid before it soaks the energy into his body, and his eyes pop open, and the spell is cast, and the druid now has the abilities that are stated in the spell, which you can use for the duration.
Which is 1 turn plus 6 rounds.
Okay? Anything else? No? Alright, so who's leading this, and where are you attempting to go?
I have no problem leaving. I'm gonna get quiet.
Okay, where are you leading these people to?
Along the beach to wherever we can get near the.
You go down the beach for about 5 minutes, and you see the first thing you see is a trail that like leads from the beach off into the forest. But beyond that, as you walk just a few seconds more, you see that the trail heads into a gate at the edge on the corner of the wooden palisades. And the palisade juts out into the beach and is just at the edge of the water as the water is, and you notice that the palisade wood there is in need of repair, as if the constant splash of the water has caused decay. And then past that you see the beach again and the dock, and moored at the dock is that huge ship. You can also see that the square tower in the middle of the fort has what appear to be not real large lamps, not like braziers, but not like house lamps either, a little bigger. And they are at the tops of the turrets where the ballista are, and they're also at the top of the square tower that extends even further up. You also see a series of lamps that are placed upon the dock, so like every 10 to 15 feet, so there's a lot of light on the dock. You can see lights that are emanating from the just like 2 or 3 lamps that are lit on the ship that are like attached to either planks or stands that are away from flammable things, and they're providing a little bit of light for that. From your angle where you're at, you can kind of tell there's light up there, but you don't actually see the lamps, but it's easy to pick out 3 different areas. And then you see where the dock extends onto the beach and up to the big gate. You can't really see the big gate, but you assume that it's there because you saw it from the other side, from the back. And that is what you can see.
So we have to head around that side of the fort, don't we?
Yeah, we can stay on the beach and we'll go over to the docks, can't we?
You'll have to, depending on the water level, you may have to walk through the water briefly to go around that corner.
Okay. Try that.
I'm okay with it.
Okay, so what's the marching order here? COVID's first?
Yes. Yeah.
Does anyone want to be second? Me. Pick wants to be second. All right. Does anyone want to be third?
I'll bring up the rear since I can move fast.
And then Reginald, you'll be fourth. All right. Any spacing requirements?
I'd say we got at least 5 feet between us. Just the.
Okay, Reggie said no. And COVID, you're leading the way. So, pick. Is there any? You want to follow at any certain distance?
About 5 feet.
Okay. All right. So, how do you approach the fort?
Well, do I see anybody looking this direction or out? You know what I'm saying? I mean, do I see any people on guard that are looking outward?
At the 4 ballistas and the inner tower, you can see 2 guards at each tower that you can see. You can't see the back right tower from your angle.
And how far away would that distance be from
how close? How close do you want to get?
Well, I need to get on the dock. So
from the dock, you would have to go.
No, what's the distance? I'm not. That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking how far away. You see what I'm doing? I got to follow the beach to the dock and take dock to the ship. So these ballistas, how far away are they from me? You know what my route is.
Okay, sure. So when you first see them, you are
approximate. I mean, it don't have to be exact. I just try to get an idea of where I'm looking.
About 140 feet
We got
away.
it right next to the fort
You're
to get to the dock.
you're about 140 feet away because that's like 40 or 45 feet from the wall, from the palisade. So,
And are anybody appear to be looking in our general direction when we're moving?
they appear to be keeping watch, but whether or not that's in your general direction, it's
Is the beach
kind of hard to see.
to the beach, to the palisade or whatever, to the docks, you know, the section we got to cross to get to the docks, is that in light or lit?
There are lights, there are lamps on the dock, like rest.
But not up to like where we're coming around the beach.
No, you're kind of in a. You're just getting the moonlight,
Okay.
and there's no lamps on top of the palisade because it's all the sharp
Okay.
trunks that are pointing at. No guards are walking along that because they don't have a wall walk area.
Yep.
So occasionally there are sounds that come from the fort, like sometimes there's a laughing, sometimes there's a yelling, sometimes there's a moan coming from what you think might be some prisoners in the back. Occasionally a dog will bark or some other noise that you're unfamiliar with. And you can see that there's smoke coming from the middle tower.
Shad, is there anything you could do to the? Is there anything you can do, Shadrick, to the lock or to like prevent them from being able to open it to get out here to the docks? Like to literally shut down everything inside this place? I mean, you know, keep them from being a part of the attack on us when they do realize we're killing everybody out here?
You can look at this
if I could get a look at the door, I can really only affect wood. I can't do anything to metal.
Okay.
But if there's like a large wooden piece to the door, yes, I can warp it where it's hard to open. I know I can do that. I can certainly try.
We've seen the gate before when we were on our perch. Cobb, is it wood or steel or metal?
This whole place is wood, isn't it, Cobb?
The gate that we've seen on the
everything.
dock side.
You don't see any metal anywhere,
Okay, so it's wood.
as far as you know.
How
But
close
I mean,
do you have to be to it?
I can probably warp it to where it's hard to get the gate open. Yes.
From what distance?
Let me check. I'm right on that page.
Which
I was already thinking in that
you was
similar
coming this way or
vein,
this way?
but I was thinking about messing up the boat, not
So
the
this is that side room with
not
the
the
gate.
gate.
Okay.
So hang on a second here.
Disappears up in there, and then you guys are like.
But that's another entrance.
Yeah,
And that's an entrance where I would
It
assume
is.
based on.
because you know that's there because you saw it from up here.
Right. So there's two other
Hang on.
entrances. There's two other entrances. I don't know how. I mean, we have him jock up one there. You know they're going to run to the others.
I can cast it up to 60 yards distant.
Oh, well that'll definitely hit it.
So that's 180 feet.
That'll
which would
definitely
be
hit it from the dock. from the
9
boat.
squares on that map.
Oh shit, man! That you could. How many times?
Now,
did you cast?
Cobb, I want you to tell me what the area of effect is.
For
Because
what?
it says special.
For what? Warp wood?
Warp wood. I'm not sure what it's going to be with regards to warping the door. Because it talks about arrows and missiles. It's like, that's not what I'm warping.
Alright, well, if I grab the right book, how about that?
If you fucks up lumber
Or-
at this
or
price,
like-
I'm gonna be
It's
mad.
also
true.
affected, causing a door to be sprung or a boat or ship to leak. So I imagine I could probably cause the door to be, like, have one of the boards stick in the opposite direction so it's really hard for them to open it.
It affects approximately a 15-inch shaft of wood of up to 1 inch diameter per level.
That's what she said.
So 6-inch diameter.
By what length?
15 inches.
I thought it was 15 per level.
Up to 1 inch diameter per level.
Okay, so it's just the diameter.
Oh no, so that'd be 15 inches, a 15-inch shaft per level. So yeah, that's a long piece of wood. So that means I could affect up to that many different things. Yeah, so Cobb, do I think that I could cause the door to be jammed? If I can make the boat sink, I can surely warp a piece of wood to make the door hard to open.
You just, where the two pieces of gate come together, I'm assuming that's the kind of gate it is, you just warp them together and then they're not going to come apart unless
they don't fuse together, it just twists the wood.
Exactly, but once you twist that wood, it's going to be very difficult for them to untwist and open the gate.
I agree, and that's what I'm trying to, can I do that, Cobb? Do I think that I can do that?
It says at 5th level, the caster could warp the shaft of a typical spear. So you're 6th level, so imagine another inch by 15 inches of wood.
I mean, I could cause a plank probably to become warped. Is that basically it?
You just said
or long.
Spear plus an inch.
Well, that's kind of a dumb spell for 3rd level. If that's or 2nd level, if that's all it can do, that's kind of dumb.
It has its uses. And this
causing a door to be sprung or a boat to ship or a ship to leak. How does that happen then? It goes from talking about spears to causing doors to be sprung. It doesn't explain how.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time a spell was poorly written, so.
I always figured I could just cause one of the pieces of wood to twist the wrong way and become jammed in there.
Just,
I think that that's possible.
All right, so you guys are talking and
we need to remove it.
Either you're making noise or you're not. So, I would like Shadrach to roll a d12.
No. 11.
All right. Apparently, you guys are kind of using the trees there for cover as you're talking, and whenever somebody pokes their head out and looks, they don't see or hear any kind of alarm. So right now you guys seem to be undetected.
Do we want to make a move or not? Is this the time? I think it is.
Let's go.
Kettle Tom says, before we go,
get off the pot.
Where are we going exactly?
Along the northern edge of the fort to the dock, so that because I'm assuming that dock is out in the water where the ship is, right?
Yes.
As I look at the map. So we need to get up on the dock at the beach near the fort.
So the objective is to get to the ship and free the slaves.
Yes. Once we're on board, we open the hatch, we start letting them out, and lead them to safety.
And we should assume that
I think
we will be detected at some point and an alarm will be raised. And in that case...
Correct. We will have to kill people.
Well, I mean, if they try to kill me, then they got to go first. So...
Agreed.
That's on them. And so let's say the worst happens and that there are more people on that ship than we realize. Are you all ready to fight a long, drawn-out fight? And he looks at Pick. I am not judging. I just you don't appear to be the hardiest individual I've ever seen. Now, what I'm hoping is that you'll surprise me and you'll be the fiercest tomcat that has ever walked the plank. But
you're looking at the man that slaughtered Latonius.
All right, then. Just say the word, and are we charging or are we trying to skirt along the wall and then run onto the dock? Surely we'll be seen.
I think I know we will be, but if we can stay undetected for as long as possible, I think that would be advantageous.
And I'm guessing if there are no guards at the gate to the fort, then they are imbeciles. So I'm going to go there first and attempt to dispatch those guards. And if there are no guards there, then I'm going to run straight onto the dock and hop onto the ship and...
That is my plan.
And unleash the paladin in me.
I look forward to seeing that.
So unless someone here has something else that they want to do, and he draws his weapon, and he says, am I going first?
I'll run with you.
Lead the charge.
Once again, I'll bring up the rear and I'll cover the dock when you guys are hitting the boat.
So he starts to move along the tree line and gets right up against the palisade here on the left side. And he starts to creep towards the ocean.
Mother Skell, guide us.
I need Pick to roll a d12. 3. So far, no alarms have been raised. He gets
I'm following closely.
He gets to the edge where the water laps the corner of the fort, the palisade. He tries to be as quiet as possible, but he splashes in the water before getting on the beach and starting to head towards the gate. You all follow?
Yes.
Yes.
Pick, roll a d12. Is that what I think it is? Oh no!
Oh yeah.
Okay. The guards at the gate scream out, "Halt! Who goes there?" He just charges. His action is to charge. Do you have an action?
Fire and arrow.
Fire. Do you have an action?
Javelin.
Throw a attack. Okay. And then Shadrach, do you have an action?
Casting.
And Reginald, do you have an action?
Charging.
So attacking.
Yes.
All right. So what happens is you come around this way. This is the water here. Let's see.
On my screen where I've got both the camera feeds, your arm looks like it's about 6 feet long.
Yeah, I see that too, Daryl. The one's extra tan.
Yeah. Different lighting.
And the beach is just barely like this. And the dock, actually,
Hey, what's up, Doc?
comes like this. And comes right up.
Just a question while you're doing that. Does this look like it'd take on and be able to pierce several ships?
I'm not sure what you're... I don't understand
Can
the
more
question.
ships be in port?
Oh, yeah. Because this ship is large. And it's... So it's pulled up here.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah.
Perhaps, maybe I'm mistaken, but on the map you drew, we would be coming from the side nearest the camera and not the side nearest you.
Well, this is...
No, I think you got it right, Daryl.
And you're coming from this way.
No. We went back here to the cave and then headed northwest, northeast.
Well, east is this way. So you would have never been past... You have to go past the fort to go down to where the cliff meets. The cliff starts to raise back here. So you had to go back to this way and then come this way.
Okay.
If you were to keep going that way, you don't know where that would have ended. I could have had you guys walk for miles and never reach where the cliff, because you guys...
That's great. I'm just backwards. My legs are on backwards. I totally thought we were coming in from around the pool side of the forest, of the fort.
I thought so too, but he pointed out to me it was on the other side.
Now I know. Thank you.
Theoretically, at this point, it doesn't matter.
It's fine. We just go with the way it is.
No, I guess not.
See it.
Well, look at it this way. The Lord's at our back now.
One side or the
We'll have to
other.
run for cover if we have to run for cover.
Okay.
Well, all three of you guys talked at the same time, so I don't know what any of you said.
I was quiet.
So, anyway, so, there you are. And then there's two guards right there. They're like, halt, who goes there? And you guys said, oh, yeah. And they do not appear to be any sort of life form that has infravision. They appear to be human. So, roll initiative. Pick. Beat a 7.
Nope, 9.
All right. So, it's darkness. The moonlight is there. So anyone that doesn't have infravision, you're at a -2 to hit, and there's other things, and so do they. And they, so on fast, what's your move?
15? 16? 16. Wait, is that? My move is based on my... Okay, no, it didn't change. Interesting. I thought maybe it changed because of that.
Reginald, what's your move?
15.
Oh, so everybody's got 15, huh? Except for poor Shad, but you were casting a spell. So on fast, you guys all get up to there. You guys pretty much all catch up to Kettle Tom. He is not as fast. Okay. So then the loser's side of fast, they don't get to go. Now the winner's side of average.
Remember, I was throwing a...
Oh, okay, sure.
He's firing an arrow and I'm throwing a javelin. So we don't need to run up there to do that.
If you don't want to.
We don't need to. I'm going to hit him from back there.
Okay. Did you want to move?
You
Or
just
did you
fire
want
an
to stay
arrow.
where you were?
I was going to stay where I
Oh,
was.
okay.
But I thought
All right.
I mean, eventually we'll be up there, but I don't need to run up there to...
Reginald, you said you were attacking, right? Okay. And you also said you were charging. So when you charge, you get to move a time and a half. So 15 plus 8 is 23, and that puts you at 8.
Kettle Tom said he was charging and I was following.
Okay. All right. So what is the speed on a javelin?
I believe it's average. Speed factor 4 average.
Okay. So Kettle Tom and Reginald, you both get your one attack on a charge during the fast phase. Reginald, you can go first. You had a +2 to hit.
That hits an armor class of -2.
Oh, that's a hit. Roll Dinkus.
Provided there's anything left to kill with the javelin.
These are human-sized, normal creatures, so 4 points.
4 points of damage. You rush up and you kill that guy. Kettle Tom.
A long sword.
Kettle Tom doesn't get to attack anybody. Although with his action, he does get a 5-foot. Oh, that's right. You don't do it that way. Okay. So he would have to wait till next round to move. And so now we go to the loser's side of average. So this fucking guy here will take a shot at Reginald. And you do not get an attack of opportunity on him because he is not in melee with you.
Am I not the winner's side of average?
I'm sorry. That was fast. Okay.
I'm just saying you said average.
So now we go to average. And the winner's side of average was my side.
Okay.
That
was just so funny.
So that guy will shoot at you, Reginald. And Reginald, you do not get a dex bonus for this attack. Because you tried.
Okay.
So with the bow and arrow, oh fuck, he hits an armor class of 17.
Missed you by that much.
Fling! The arrow flies somewhere. Okay, now the loser's side. So, who wants to go? And
let me javelin this son of a bitch.
The guy does have cover because you're throwing it through the square of a friendly.
Hey,
so it's not a called shot, but there is it does get a cover. So roll the hit and tell me what you get.
Guys. It's javelin.
It's
not a straight shot.
Right,
like an arrow.
Yeah.
Hit armor class 6.
Armor class of 6. All right. Well, as you throw, it zips right past Reginald's right arm and sinks into the guy for a hit. Roll dinkus. These guys are not wearing heavy armor because they don't want to drown. So
do I add anything to that for my strength or not?
You add, if I remember correctly, you would add your strength to thrown weapons. Let's see if I'm remembering correctly.
Just making
as far as damage goes, I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I seem to remember. So, okay, applies to combat. The listed number is added or subtracted to the damage. For example, short sword, an attacker with a split cause one. The damage adjustment also applies to missile weapons, although bows must be specially made. So yes, you get to add
10 points.
Whatever your
9 points.
Strength is. I'm guessing it's like plus
4.
3 or 4. Okay.
So
how much?
9 points total.
Okay. So in flies a javelin. Knocks him down. He's dead. Hey, these guys are just low-level flugies. All right. And there you are. So I need you to roll me another d12.
Hey, don't I get that?
6.
Okay. Sure, if you want to.
1.
Do you want to shoot on your turn?
Nobody left.
There is nobody left, not that you can see, unless you want to shoot over the wall at the tower over here.
No.
No? Okay. Shadrach, go ahead and cast your spell.
Reginald's back.
I'm casting Windlash.
Okay. So you cast Windlash.
And you haven't seen me do it for a while, but yeah, the wind whips around my legs, my ankles, and then comes up into my hand like a big, cold, white, wispy whip. Is there anybody up on the wall that I can see?
No.
Okay, anybody on the dock I can see?
No. If you want to step back and try to look over the palisade, you might be able to see the guys up on the tower. But they are the closest one would be like 30 feet and then another 20 feet, so like 50 feet away. So at the end of the round, you step back a square and you look, and you can see that there's a guy up there that's on guard that you should have known was already there. But then you look and roll me a d12.
6.
A 6. Okay. Do Do you remain out in the open by the water, or do you hug the wall?
I'm trying to see people up on the wall, so I guess I'm out in the open.
All right. So now what do you guys do?
I continue. Are you asking for actions?
Yes.
What's the other turn? I'd like to move.
And Shadrach, you're going to stay behind, huh?
If I can move, I'd like to windlash that guy up in the tower, actually, is what I wanted to do. But I'll move my, I'll move up.
What's the range on your windlash?
30 yards right now.
This should keep 50 feet, no problem.
Yeah, if you want to try to attack the guy that's on watch up in the tower, you sure can.
I'll take a shot at him.
Yeah, no one's there to stop you, so go ahead.
I hit armor class 3.
Armor class 3, that's a hit. Roll Dankus.
That was minus. Did you get the minus?
Yeah, no, these guys aren't wearing heavy armor.
Okay. Okay, he gets hit for 12 points of damage.
All right, so the one guy, you see him go, ugh! And you guys all hear that. And when you like stop and look around and you see Shadrach's back there doing something and you hear a noise, and then from up in the tower you hear, what the fuck? Alarm! Alarm! And you hear a bell or a gong like going, clang, 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 clang. So,
better warp that wood now.
that happened,
That was my
and
plan.
that is the end of the round.
Excellent.
Everyone's moved, and that will be a good place to stop because it's 8:45. And I'm not sure why you would do the thing there, but it got happened, and there you are. So,
Jason, what are you thinking?
Because it wasn't part of the
We
plan.
were slipping in. Now the whole fort's involved.
He had to spell something. Attack something.
but anyway, we hope you've enjoyed tonight's action.
Once again.
I have all week now to plan on how I would like people to wake up slowly and come out, and guys from the boat are going to come out, and it's going to be great.
Never fails. We're caught in the middle. Ready.
Yay, I love it.
Look at the lights turning on.
All right, so
Thanks, Jason.
any final comments or things that we need to know?
Thanks a lot, Jason. Again.
I think we're doing the right thing, but we might just have fucked ourselves.
Oh, we didn't fuck ourselves. Well, I agree we're fucked.
Kettle Tom's just standing there with his mouth open going,
What the fuck? Oh, man.
he's not even saying it, he's just like, I don't understand, what's happening?
I'm not standing around waiting. I'm still heading toward
Right.
the ship.
All right, so we will pick up the next game session on round number, round number 2. That was just the first round. They went, hey, who goes there? And
Who would shine the beacon light at the guards up there that aren't aware of what we're doing?
On the first round,
On the
even.
first round.
Hey, up there on the wall. Whoosh.
I gotta catch this spell, guys. Where can I hit somebody?
This is why I don't need to create killer scenarios. I just let the things out there, and then you guys run in there with blender hands, and then let the chips fall where they may. So good times are had by all, and that is it.
Yes,
and I will see you guys next week. Jason, I will send you some suggestions, but I have one suggestion for a drawing I would like. And it would be all of your friends down on this end looking back at you as you're staring somewhere else, and they're all just going, that's what I want. And a little fish that's poking up from the water right here going, what the fuck?
Maybe next time we meet that tree, that forest god, whatever thing, you can fuck it up the ass instead of asking if it's friendly.
Don't do that. All right. Thank you for playing. Good night. And I'll see you guys in the chat all week, I'm sure.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya. he casts one lash and then asks, so is there anybody on the wall? No. Is there anybody on the dock? No. Well, I'm going to use my spell on somebody.
Good night, Facebook. Good night, Internet.
Well, it's great having you back, Randy.
Thank you. Sure did end awful interesting, didn't it?
It did.
So is it nicer being in person and trying to understand what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, you miss a lot.
Bullshit. Yeah, like I said, I see it.
And sometimes it's just so hard to hear.
Yeah, sometimes you just sit back and